Hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool, cool. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up,
Or
man? Can,
not much.
can the
Just
chat hear
boring.
Toyo? Is the question. Chat, can you hear Toyo?
How am I? How's my voice right now? Is everything fine?
That's
I
good.
don't remember if last time when we spoke on stream, I actually had this headset, though. It was a long time ago.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Cool, cool. A lot of a lot of stuff happened since we spoke.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Like a
So many
lot of stuff.
things. I think
Like,
I think we'll do like 3 topics and then just
mhm.
multitude of questions in between because I feel like we're gonna get a lot of questions. I already got like 6 questions already. I haven't even started the stream for like 20 minutes yet. I already got like so many questions. So I think what we'll do is we'll have like 2 or 3 primary topics that we can talk about,
Mhm.
and it'll be like ninja related, BDO related, or gear or whatever, because the
Sure.
gear is going to be changing momentarily. Um, so how should we do this? Is that okay, Toyo?
Oh
You
yeah,
down for that?
sounds
Okay.
great. Yeah, just
All right.
anything is
So
fine.
yeah, sounds good. All right. So this is a pretty spontaneous podcast. I hope you guys are okay with me just talking and Toyo talking. This is our guest here today, guys. It's pretty spontaneous. His name is Toyohisa. If you don't know him already, like you might as well just leave the stream. Just kidding. Don't leave the stream.
Yeah, though,
Um,
let's be honest. I should be presenting you. Last time I checked, I have a better presence than you in Europe, at least.
oh,
Whenever I
really?
say, "Hey,
That's
go
awesome.
watch Yellow's tutorials," and they say like,
Mission
"Who?"
complete.
On the
That's
other
good.
hand,
That's
like
good. That's
people
good.
who hear me from NA are like, "Wait, isn't that fake that Toyo guy with like 200 AP?" And I'm like, "No, dude, that's someone else with my name. Come on." But yeah.
All right, so that's Toyohisa, guys. He's a really, really skilled ninja from EU. Um, and I guess we can get started. So I guess the 3 topics. I think the first topic will be succession and awakening buffs, like the new
Hmm.
skill, the new bond skills that are coming out. That will probably be the. I think that'll be a pretty juicy first topic.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know already, you guys can check out the bond skills that are going to be coming out sometime either this week, next week, or the following week. It's out in Korea's Global Lab test server. So if you haven't seen the new bond skills yet, please go check it out. Just go log into your Global Lab, set it up, and you could definitely test it there. All right, so the bond skills. Toyo, I guess you will start it off. What do you think about the bond skills that are coming out? You have any?
They're really, they look really strong.
Mhm.
Like, I was trying to think, since most of them are basically some sort of rehash of 2017 Ninja before
Yeah.
the CC changes.
Mhm.
I was thinking of taking them one by one. So, for example, Murderous Intent, we know it's not the same, it doesn't have the same SA as back then,
Yeah, it's not
which,
lingering.
yeah, which would be which should be a bit out of control, to be
That would be
honest.
kind of broken. I agree.
But even something like Katana Shower, back in 2017, if I remember correctly, Katana Shower float wasn't really consistent at all. And from what I saw from some of the clips and everything, it seems like an actual 100% float. Because remember back then, CCs weren't. You could evade the first CC all the time, like
Mhm.
if you had enough evasion. So now, since the CC changes, every hit is always a CC, and you cannot evade it. Basically, you can only resist it. Katana Shower Float is like, I don't know, a million times more consistent because it's only one hit of floating, but
Yeah.
that hit will always CC unless you resist it, basically.
I think another
So,
thing about the Katana Shower float is that it was overshadowed back then with Blade Spin float. Like
oh yeah, of course.
you would never prioritize using Katana Shower float over Blade Spin float, right?
Yeah, also
Like
Katana was the slow
it
version,
was
and
very
ev-
slow. Yeah.
even back then, even with the float, people are saying like when you use Katana in a duel, you're like asking to die,
Yeah,
basically.
it was really slow. But Katana Shower has been buffed quite a bit in
Hmm.
today's era. So I think Katana Shower Float definitely will be very strong in
Yeah.
today when whenever the bond skills come out. What do you think of Serpent Forward Guard?
Well, it's basically the dream, right? Like everything every ninja has asked since I'm playing the game. Because even
Hmm.
back in 2017 when I started doing Node Wars,
Yeah.
Ninja was regarded as like one of the worst Node War classes in the game. Node War Siege, whatever. It didn't like it was horrible.
Yeah.
And even back then, people were saying like, "Oh, you should just give Serpent SA or a frontal guard or
Yeah.
something, so you
Hmm.
can." Yeah, basically the skill of the ninja players
Yeah.
weren't there at that point, and they weren't able to use like the entire skill set of the ninja. I mean, just go back and look at any video from 2017. Like people, since we started playing without getting to learn from anyone, we basically had to learn ourselves pretty much. And back then, everyone was just on Europe at least was just lingering,
Oh yeah.
murderous all
We
day.
were all strikers on when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
played Ninja. We literally
I
just lingered all day and just
the
grabbed.
the only exception I think has to be Mazap, who had the like very speedy play style since
Yeah, I
forever.
remember. Yep.
But I remember even back then, like people from Europe were like watching that and saying like, "This looks awesome. This looks fun to play. This looks really cool." But like, why would you ever play like this? Because you have like the tools, the other tools to make it work. But
Yeah.
funny enough, in time we found out that him and people who were playing that were basically right because the game balance went in that direction, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, Serpent Float. I think a lot of people right now. I think I was talking about this a couple times on stream. That a lot of people have been saying Katana Shower Float is going to be the strongest bond skill. But I actually, in my
Mhm.
opinion, I actually think the Serpent Forward Guard will be the best skill. The reason why I say this is because like they're obviously gonna make it. They're gonna update the bond skills so that you can't change them mid combat because I think that'll be kind of
Mhm.
broken to use one skill and then swap mid fight to like something else. So
Yeah,
they're
that would
probably
be a bit
gonna,
ridiculous.
yeah, they're gonna definitely find a way to fix that because they don't want people to be like too overly tuned. Um, so when that change comes or inevitably comes, I think what people are gonna find out is that having Katana Shower Float is strong,
Mhm.
but I feel as though what you should be doing is you should be engaging with Serpent and then use like BSR Katana Shower, as opposed to using an unsafe Serpent that will probably get
Mhm.
you like countered, and then you go up, then you follow up with like Katana Shower afterwards, or you open with Katana Shower, and then you have like an unsafe Serpent. So you'll probably have to do like Bladesman Shadow Stomp or something like that to get
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
majority of your damage, which I think is okay.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, I think what's gonna happen is how people are gonna utilize like Frontal Guard Serpent is they're literally gonna use it as an engage tool,
Mhm.
right? They're gonna use it as they can murder tent, murder tent, C swap, shadow stomp. Then they have a C swap, which is one frontal. They have their ninja step or ghost step, which is like another protected movement,
Yeah.
followed by another like serpent as their second CC flow, which is now going to be
Mhm.
protected, right? Obviously, you're going to position yourself to better land the serpent.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that is going to be a better option than Katana Shower. The reason why, like another reason, is it's going to do like max damage because it'll be your second
Mhm.
CC. It'll have air attack no matter what, and then you
Yeah.
can use Katana Shower afterwards to keep yourself safe to have like
Mhm.
air attack and like filler damage. So
And keep in mind, not using the katana shower float bond. You still have the 50% katana shower, and
exactly,
you can
yeah,
chain it together with the serpent.
yep,
But if you pick the katana shower float, which does give you a bit more consistency in node war, I'm guessing,
uh-huh.
you can't like katana shower and then BSR katana shower, right? So
Exactly, yeah.
they don't like go well together.
They'll be on cooldown. Yeah.
I am thinking, what if some ninjas, because right now there's a bit more like has like a bit more liberty with their builds. Most awakening ninjas prefer Begs and DR,
Yep.
but I'm wondering if if you're supposed to switch to like more evasion, like succession build with Libers, if you want to use something like Katana Shower Float, because looking back at it, it's basically an protected SA with CC. But even if it has the CC, if you collide with any other CC and you have like 330 DP with DR,
Hmm.
you will literally get one shot. And if you
Yeah.
get back attacked, you will actually get one shot.
Yeah, you'll evaporate pretty
You,
fast.
like yeah,
Yeah.
any class like Succession Decay, Succession Wizard that hits you from behind with any skill on like 293 AP, let's say, will literally one shot you.
Hmm.
So then those people, there could be like a difference of depending on your build. If you're like more tanky Libers, let's say, or something like that,
Hmm.
you would go for Katana Shower Float. And if you're more DR focused to get more out of your frontal guard, you might go for the Serpent frontal guard stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
I was watching Mazap stream, I think 2 days ago actually,
Yep.
and he was doing something that was like really, really cool and interesting. And a lot of people like shit talked this thing, but like everyone shit talking like, oh wow, execution, like why would anyone care of quick slotting this, right?
Yep.
But like what he was trying to do is basically use the execution
Hmm.
as the old
Mission
serpent.
complete.
Yeah.
Basically an unprotected,
Yep.
fast,
I know.
cancelable CC. By the way, execution, for those people that don't know, actually has a surprisingly big cone range
Yep.
with CC.
It's really fast
Like
too, and you can animation
it's
cancel it.
it's fast. It's basically like I think like eyeballing it. It's
Hmm.
like around the same speed as the old like 2 week serpent we had with
Yeah.
that you could like instant cancel.
Hmm.
So like I was looking at him fighting, and obviously since this is like completely new for him, like this was really difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if in a few months, if people will try to explore this playstyle more.
So
If yeah, if
yeah, so
yeah,
I
go ahead.
actually started using that already, the
Mhm,
execution, and I play a lot of Arena Varsha, right, and a lot of
mhm.
trial PvP, and Arena Varsha KD is like the king of
Oh, it's
CCs,
insane! It's the
right?
best thing ever.
So now that Awakening Ninja has a very reliable KD to use in like any scenario, it's
Hmm.
actually really powerful to use execution in like top tier PvP
Yeah, yeah.
because you lock out KDs, right? So
Hmm.
they're fucked if they don't V on reaction. So
Oh, can you even V out of it?
you can V
Like if
out,
you're
yeah, yeah. So
oh at the start, I
yeah, yeah,
guess.
yeah. So
I see.
KDs. So a lot of people may not know this, but in anywhere you go, if you get knocked down, you can't V. However, there's ways around it. You can V before your back touches the ground. So there's a
Hmm.
tiny little gap from when you get knocked down that your body's airborne. But the moment your back touches the ground, you can't V.
Hmm.
Like you're completely locked out.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
so what
I
people
didn't
would
know that.
do, is a lot of like high level players in Arena Varsha, they would look at skill animations, right? So they would look at
Hmm.
a good example of this is um, Warriors Reckless is a knockdown, right? But what a lot of Warriors do to do like knockdown, like McCann's does this a lot, where he sidesteps to give himself the iframe, right, to dodge
Hmm.
whatever
Yeah,
counterplay
yeah.
that they're gonna get. So he would go like for a grab, he would sidestep, and then somebody's gonna counterplay him, he sidesteps, and then he goes for the Reckless. And the Reckless is a KD. So
Hmm.
knowing this, if you want to prepare ahead of time, if you know you're getting grabbed by a warrior, and you don't want to like get your V locked out, and you're like, oh, my V's locked out, blah 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 blah, and you basically look at the warrior's animation and you go, okay, he's casting Reckless, so I should be mashing V. The moment
Hmm.
he hits me with Reckless, I'll be able to V within like in midair. But the moment my back touches the ground, I'm dead. Like you're dead. If you touch the
Hmm.
ground, you're dead. So
Yeah.
some of the meta in like a really high level Arena Varsha is people would play around knockdowns, right? And they would just literally their first CC, like if they go for a stiff or a grab or a stun, whatever it is, whatever that CC is irrelevant. They just go straight for KD right afterwards. If
Hmm.
you're not prepared for it, you're gonna die. And a lot of people they like to hold their V, right? Like they like to, oh, I'm
Hmm.
not gonna
Yeah, yeah.
die.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
normally have 350 DP on my main. I'm not gonna die on a
Mhm.
trial, right? And they underestimate how much damage people can do if they're focus fired,
Yeah, yeah.
and they just get knocked down once and they completely die. And they go, "Oh my god, I can't V! I'm dead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, team." That's basically what
S-
happens. So
So I knew I am surprised you're saying this applies to all KDs because I knew, for example, the Mystic grab. The way I was looking at it is, oh, when you're getting grabbed by a Mystic, basically before you get like her knee into your face, you can V out of that. But
yeah,
I didn't
that's
think like so.
yeah, yeah.
Basically, the knee in the face is the float of it,
No,
basically, and
that's
then
grapple state. That's grapple state.
oh, that's
Like
grapple
yeah,
state.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay,
when you're in their hands. The moment they
I
knee
see.
you is when you'll get the knockdown state.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I was, yeah. So basically, you could V in grapple state, and you're
hmm
saying you can also V while you're like in the air before
Airborne.
you.
Yeah, when you're
Yeah, really
airborne.
cool. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That I didn't know that.
hmm
Gives me a much better reason to every time I get CC'd in a group
Yeah.
to like
If you
spam the fuck out of
know
my.
you're getting knocked down, if you know you're gonna fight against a Zerker or a Warrior or like what's another class that KD is really hard? Awakening Kuno or a Sork, they
Sork
KD
does
really
it a lot.
often, right?
Hmm.
So fighting against these classes in the back of your mind, this is for like purely competitive play. You don't really it's hard to notice this in large scale siege because there's so many people doing it, so you can't really tell or pinpoint who's actually going to CC you. But in Arena of Arsha, it's very easy to know what classes you're against and know what kind of abilities are being thrown at you. So it's easy to predict, should I use my V, right? Or if you
Hmm.
sometimes using your V too early is dangerous, right? And that's the power of KDs. And
Yeah,
Ninja
yeah.
on Awakening has the option of KD now. So I think in Arena of Arsha, like competitive play, bond skills are going to be very powerful for AOA.
Hmm.
Like very very powerful.
They will
Um,
be insane for sure.
yeah, it'll be very very
I
strong.
was wondering, so Awakening Ninja will like kind of got like pretty buffed the last couple of
Yeah,
weeks,
they
which
got
was
super buffed.
I was looking at it and I thought like, oh well, all of this is deserved since Awakening is kind of in a bad state. But I kept thinking, is Awakening actually in a bad state, or people in general started to learn like how Awakening Ninja plays? Because for me, when I played against an Awakening Ninja, like I never felt like scared of anything because I know the class. I've played it
Yeah,
myself for
yeah.
like a couple of years. I know where all the gaps are. I know what I should abuse or whatever. But I'm wondering, I keep seeing people who maybe play a bit more 1v1s or whatever. I keep seeing how they started to learn, like, oh, the ninja is casting, he's gonna do, what was that stupid
Silent
iframe skill?
charge.
Yeah, he's gonna do silent charge, and then he's gonna do murderous, but he's not gonna hit me with murderous, and then he's gonna C-swap, and then he's gonna mouse movement shadow stomp, and then
Yeah,
I just do like an AoE CC around me, and his shadow stomp will bug out, and he's gonna get CC'd like every time.
yeah,
So it's like a, if you're not like a ninja who like changes up, it's really cookie cutter, and the movement
yeah,
is actually quite easy to follow with your eyes. Like actually you can
yeah.
see
In
like the character. Meanwhile, Succession kind of has like this very varied, fuck, what's that word, how do you say that, varied, very
varied
varied
type of.
movement,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
movement,
Oh,
which is like,
yeah.
yeah, kind of hard to follow. Like for example, when you're in smoke bomb, you're, even though you're still there, you're invisible, and the
Mhm.
guy's like, is this guy still right now? He's looking at the minimap, and that's when you like pop out of the shadows, like do like a shadow stomp and like
Mhm.
catch him, and it's stuff like this, which is like, it's hard to follow with your eyes, right? So Awakening might need that extra, those extra like quality of life changes to make it more fair, like since people literally got better at the game in time.
Yeah. I think it's because another big thing is about that is like this game has been out for so long now and everyone has been
Hmm.
playing Awakening for so
Yeah.
long, right? And the people that played Awakening that play Succession now, they know how to fight Awakening, right? Like you and
Yeah.
I have both played Awakening for so long. We both play Succession now. So when we fight against
Hmm.
ninjas, we go, okay, well, I know everything that this class does.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's in the back of my hand. It's programmed in the muscle memory of my hands to know exactly what to do, how they move,
Hmm.
how they fight, how they counterplay. We know all of it. So
Yeah.
we're not really surprised by some of the things they do. Maybe some classes are like some players are like really skilled, so they can catch you off guard
Hmm.
with like a setup. But generally speaking, you kind of know how awakening ninjas work nowadays, right?
Yeah,
So
of course. So I feel like overall, all of these new skills and stuff like that is really cool,
Hmm.
and I am loving what they did with the PvE stuff as well. Like they're really, it seems like for the past month they've been really listening to most of the feedback and like trying to so let's say if you're playing Succession, you like to super armor trade a lot and you like burst movement and burst damage. If you're playing Awakening, you're kind of like in this like evading, like 1vx style, outplaying people all the
Hmm.
time, CCing people, which is like also like a really cool playstyle. So it's kind of like um you can, there's, it's more clear right now like what you want to do. It's not as much as people want like play Awakening, go in Shadow Stomp, Blade Spin, and then see like, oh shit, I didn't kill them, what a shit class, I should switch to Succession. Now they're more like, okay, let me fish with an execution here, let
Yeah,
me
yeah,
Katana
yeah,
Shower float them, let me do
Mission
something
yeah.
else,
complete.
right? It's more, it's very different, and it's cool. I really like what
I
the
agree.
choices they gave to the
Hmm.
players. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next bond skill, Super Armor Murder's Intent. That was the next one. I'm just reading down the list of all the six options that we have.
I um I'm gonna copy some more of Mazav's opinions on this. Like he said, like this will be really cool in 1v1s, and I kind of can see it. Basically, if I understood what he meant correctly, he is kind of looking for like the string of movement that's semi-protected, like that has like a few gaps, but they're really hard to punish. So basically, it's kind of like the string of movement of helping you to get close to certain classes and and have like a very small chance of getting CC, like I don't know, 20%,
Yeah,
like
because
10%.
you
Yeah.
have your movement that is protected now with Murderous
Hmm.
Super Armor, and you can C swap or Go Step
Yeah.
afterwards, right?
So
And that
the
allows you to
idea would be,
remain
yeah, the
protected.
idea would be to get like close to them using the murderous SA and like your other, the garbage charge and all of that stuff. And as you get close to them, go for a grab or like a CC when they're unprotected, which I can kind of see it. Like it's really cool for 1v1 for sure. I'm just, I I don't know if you have any opinions of it on like an RBF or like large scale.
So, okay, my understanding is kind of similar to Maze Up, except I actually thought that Super Armor Merge Stent would be really good for large scale because you can
Hmm.
like literally approach safely forever. There is no
I see
scenario
why.
where you can merge Stent. Like normally, if you merge Stent into a witch casting Voltaic Pulse or Frigid Fog or a Suck Wizard, you'll get
Yeah,
CC'd
you're
instantly,
dead.
right? You're dead. It's not protected. You're dead. You can't even C swap, right?
Hmm.
Because by the time you cast your C swap, the Voltaic Pulse will already hit you mid cast of Murderous Intent. But now
Yeah.
you can actually do like Murderous Intent, C swap, and grab, right? Because what you
Hmm.
do is you'll absorb the hit during Murderous Intent, and then when you C swap, you'll frontal whatever skill that's coming out afterwards, and then you can just raw grab, and that is it. May be unprotected, but the Voltaic Pulse and the Frigid Fog has already hit you during your Merge Intent and your C swap, so now
Yeah.
you're open, right? There's a
Hmm.
tiny little window that you're open now, so it actually is not that bad of an idea against Succession mages.
Hmm.
So
I would definitely think it's cool since if you can get the grab off, you do get that like what is it, like 1 second or like half a second of iframe when you're
mhm,
like disappeared from
yeah,
the grab animation. And I can see how in that 1 second you can like look around and assess the situation for a bit, and then like then think of a follow up, and then like start the outplay process of like, all
mhm,
right, I'm gonna shift Q behind this ranger here. I'm gonna execute this guy real quick. Then I'm gonna serpent this other guy real quick, something like that. So the more of these like I little 1 second time, like little frames when you can like assess the situation, I feel like the better the class is for 1vx, because in that
yeah,
1 second you can like make decisions.
mhm,
If it's too fast, most of the time, sadly enough, it comes to luck. Like as much as you like seeing the montages of ninjas going in spawn and like killing a lot of people, you don't know how many like how consistent that person is like doing that. It might be that their brain is wired of
Yeah.
like, I know how to do this sequence of skills in like this perfect order, and it works nine out of 10 times. But it's weird because it can also be that like, oh, this worked this one time, but this one time it didn't work, and you don't know, like, most of the time you want to ask yourself like, okay, why didn't this work? Like, what's the problem here? Did I play it wrong? Did
Hmm.
I get unlucky?
Yeah.
You know. So even looking at Blockchamp's streams when he's like playing RBF, he's like insanely good, and he's really consistent. And a lot of times he also gets upset when he like dies like 4 times in a row without doing anything.
Yeah.
It feels like Awakening needs a bit more of these like spaces of time so you can make decisions, so you can be more consistent.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good you are at the class if you can't, if you don't have that outplay. If that outplay is tied to luck, like that's not fun. Like you're basically going in
Yeah.
and like
Exactly.
hoping stuff works out. Like when you're doing
Yeah.
that unprotected serpent, you're hoping like, oh shit, like I hope I don't get CC'd
I
by
hope,
some
yeah,
random stuff.
there's no archer
Yeah.
shooting an arrow at you
But
from
if you
3
have like,
monitors away.
hey, look, here's this 1 second here of iframe where I can look around. Here's this 1 second of concealment where I can
Hmm.
look around. That's how like you become like a really good player in my eyes. Like
Yeah.
the more consistent you are.
Exactly. All right, so moving on, let's go to Corrupted Sword Dance Frontal Guard. I think a lot of people are probably gonna say the skill's useless, and
What are these? I have a question though. Do you get the frontal guard when you do you get the frontal guard when you're like doing the bound as well, or wait,
okay,
does corrupt sword
no,
dance
no,
have the
no,
bound
no,
or?
no, no, no.
Oh,
That's Corrupted Sword Dance. That's the L or SLMB.
oh, S.
That's the one that most people don't level up. Yeah. So
I-
this has frontal guard now, but honestly, the skill was never really good to begin with. It wasn't good in grinding, and it's not good in
yeah,
PvP. And
I
by
mean it
mean,
was good killing folk.
yeah, it's only good if you use it to spam seamless, right? To do like filler
Yeah.
damage. But even then, you have sudden decapitation, which does way more damage. So
Mhm.
this skill getting frontal guard it's irrelevant. Like you're not gonna be able to do too much with it. I feel like they're just lacking skill options.
Yeah, it feels
So
like
they
they
just
ran out of
yeah,
skills
they
and they're
just
like,
throw
fuck,
in yeah.
what do we do?
Honestly, they should have replaced Corrupted Sword Dance with Vacuum Slash and put
Vacuum float?
yeah, or
Yes.
float on Vacuum Slash. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
So
understand why they didn't
yeah,
do
I
that.
don't know either. I mean, it's
Even
sure.
stun on Q block would be more
Oh
like
yeah, Vengeful
interesting.
Barrier Stun would be really broken
Yeah.
actually, because I can do a lot of broken shit with that. Um, okay, so Corrupted Sword Dance obviously, people
Garbage.
yeah,
Throw it in the trash can.
trash. It's trash, guys. In the
Absolute
garbage.
trash.
In the garbage.
I
Next
want to
skill.
be proven wrong, but
Next, next skill is sudden decapitation frontal guard. Now, I actually think that this skill is going to be really good. Um,
hmm
I know a lot of people. It's going to be a primarily a 1v1 skill. The reason
hmm
why is because a lot of ninjas, or well, not a lot of ninjas, but there's a setup that you do with block jump in Awakening where you would go step backwards, and normally you'd blade spin or you stance to give yourself protection, right?
yeah.
Or you smoke screen. So this gives you like room to react to like certain opponents on like what they do in case it's like an unsafe block jump, or are you just fishing for a CC,
Hmm.
right? But you're unsure if they're gonna go for a counterplay or not. So sudden decapitation with float would mean that you can go step, or you can block jump, go step, stance, and sudden decap, and it'll be completely protected. Like they cannot punish you in any this
hmm
entire scenario because it's fully protected. You won't get slow debuffed, and you have the option of using silent charge or ghost step afterwards as well.
So more of those like micro decision
Yeah,
like
so it's like
frames kind of.
you obviously know block jump mind games, right? When both players,
hmm
both like if you're fighting against a ninja or Kuno, and one person uses block jump, the other person uses block jump, and you're trying to figure out and you're trying to fish for what you should do to counter this person. And this
Yeah.
sudden decapitation forward guard will add one more layer to that
hmm
offense, right?
hmm
And I think that's really neat. So I have a friend named Six Skills. He's probably one of the best Awakening ninjas I've ever fought, and he is when we fight, it's like it's like layers of offense. It's just layers and layers upon layers of like, I know you're gonna go for this, and I know this is the option you have left, right? And then we try to
Hmm.
counterplay off of that, right? And
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, well I'm baiting. I'm not gonna use this option, and I'm just gonna make you waste your option, and then I'm gonna
Hmm.
hit you with the skill afterwards, right? So adding another layer to this block jump mind game, I think will be even more fun for like really really traditional 1v1 duels. You're going to add like another layer of offense to it, which I think is going to be really fun. But yeah, that's a forward guard stun and decap. So yeah.
Sounds good. Do you think like maybe if we ever see 1v1 tournaments again, like we might see something like ninjas pecking specifically into weird stuff like this to gain like an advantage
Oh
against
yeah,
certain classes?
I already thought of so many scenarios that I would test this in. One of them would be against a Sork. I would use Super Armor Murderous Intent. Just like
Hmm.
I know I'll use Super Armor Murderous Intent because catching Sorks is really difficult, and using Super Armor MA would be or Super Armor Murderous Intent would be insanely strong against Sork in 1v1. And
Yeah.
if I'm against like I don't know,
Maybe something like
maybe
Hashashin, where there's like a lot of mind games with the block jump or something like that.
oh yeah, like against Sasashin, I could use Super Armor Katana Shower, or sorry, Float Katana
Hmm.
Shower, right? Especially
Hmm.
if I'm against like Succession Hasashin.
Yeah, yeah.
So just like little things like that, like you can definitely mind game your opponent to find like what is the better, optimal bond skill to use
Hmm.
against whatever class matchup that you're going to be against. Like Tamer, like forward guard Serpent is amazing against Tamer. I can already see
Hmm.
how powerful it will be because you don't have to worry about the dog CCing you because you just throw
Hmm.
Serpent into the dog
Yeah, exactly.
and
You're
it
not
will
scared
never.
of anything. Wouldn't you
Yeah,
say like Katana Shower Float is basically the same thing, kind of?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Against Tamer, I mean.
Against
Yeah.
Tamer, yeah, exactly. But the
Hmm.
problem with that is you can't use it as a engage tool because they could just grab your ass, right? You use it as like
Ah, I see.
yeah, you use it as a way to mitigate damage loss when you're trying to
Hmm.
optimize damage against the dog whenever you land a
Yeah,
CC on
yeah.
the Tamer. So that's how I see it at least. I feel as though in tournament play, bond skills will be very, very popular in terms
Hmm.
of like what is the best skill and what is the best option.
Can we talk a bit about something I don't really like that much, or
Okay,
maybe like
what's up?
I'm not sure if they will ever change this or like what's their plan with this. It's something I read in the Ninja Discord as well, and I
Okay,
also vocalized this sentiment.
yeah.
Isn't it weird that after the bond skills will be introduced, from now on we won't know exactly like what specific bond skill some people are running?
Yeah,
Because let's say I will like the patch will come out, right? And we
yeah,
start doing node doors or whatever,
yeah.
and I meet like a random ninja or even like random guardians and like blobs. Now I could start studying all their bond skills, but there's literally no options for me because at one point there will be guardians who will get bound on God Incinerator. That's like the
Yep,
I
the
don't know.
super
That's like the
OP DP debuff
that's
skill. Yep.
yeah, the one where like there's
Hmm.
like flame coming out of
And
the
they
ground
also
and stuff like
heal
that.
heal per hit,
Yeah,
heal on
so
hit. Yeah.
I don't know like what am I supposed to do? Like obviously guardians when they're in the blob, they will spam that
I think
skill. Am I supposed to like not go in ever against the blob anymore because guardians have that? And there are a lot of things like this. Like how am I supposed to know like if this is the
I
correct choice?
I actually don't think they're gonna implement a way for people to know. Like
Hmm.
like how are you gonna even figure it out? Like are they
Well,
gonna
it's
have?
impossible because even if you do like a visual effect to it,
There's
like
so
most people
many.
play with, yeah, but most
Yeah,
people play with visual effects off in Node Wars. So I'm
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
hmm, isn't this like a bit strange?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
and
I don't
yeah,
know how they're gonna implement it, but I feel as though it's just gonna be something that you learn like through fighting.
hmm
Like you'll probably die once in RBF and figure out okay this guy has Katana
hmm
Shower float. And I
and then they change RBFs and they'll get like
yeah
frontal guard on.
I think the way they should do it is that it should be like a skill add-on. So
Mhm,
in order for you to change it, you'd have to go to like a skill vendor or skill instructor or something. You know.
mhm.
I honestly don't know how they're gonna do it. Maybe it'll be like a Rabam skill where you need to like it's a skill enhancement and you need to unlock it some way, and then you just use it permanently. You never swap it out or something. But it's I'm not 100% sure on how they will do it. So
Yeah, it kind of feels
it's
like,
gonna be
at least
difficult.
it,
I
yeah,
feel.
at least in 1v1s,
Hmm.
it feels a bit like you're just hoping some stuff isn't there, or you're playing I'm wondering if this will make like the play be like a lot more passive, because I could just like let's say I'm fighting in the new 1v1 arena, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a random ninja coming in.
Hmm.
Well, I could just go in when he does katana shower and like try to grab him.
Yeah.
But what if it has float and then my grab gets like instantly float, like I get floated in my grab? Or
Exactly.
I could try to punish like him block jump floating, thinking like, oh, maybe this guy is like new and like he doesn't know that block jump serpent is not good. But then then he has frontal guard or serpent. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Hmm.
So I, like I it's cool that the complexity is there. I'm a bit sad that it feels like there is going to be a bit of randomness tied to it as well, which I don't
Yeah,
know if I
a,
appreciate that
a lot of
much.
people are gonna have access to Secret Book of Old Moon, and that's gonna allow them
Mhm.
to like freely swap in between like RBFs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna do it. I hope it will be like somewhat balanced that one player just doesn't have just be able to swap through like three best options at all times. So you don't ever really know.
Hmm.
It's definitely gonna get a lot of layer and depth to PvP, but again, at the end of the day, you playing neutral will still be important. Like you can't just play
Yeah.
stupid against like every opponent. Like you still have to think and go, is this a correct option? They'll just play another layer to it. So
Hmm.
maybe play an extra safe of layer, or maybe block. Um, or if you get hit by the skill, there's like an indicator that says, oh, this skill is like a special version of the skill,
So do you know
right? Like
how
I
in
guess
fighting
it could
do you
work
know
out.
how in fighting games there's
Hmm.
this concept of respecting moves, right? It's for the people who don't know, it's like this idea of like when you're playing against a certain let's say you're playing Mortal Kombat and you're against, I don't know, like Scorpion or something like that.
Yeah.
And Scorpion has like these two buttons. If you press I don't know,
Hmm.
kick and punch, he is plus frames after that. So basically uh after he does the sequence of like kick and punch, he will be, I don't know, plus 10. So basically, his next move will come 10 frames
Hmm.
faster, and your moves will be like the same, but his will be faster. So if he uses a 60 frame move and you use a 60 frame move, you will get hit every single time, no
Yeah.
exceptions.
Hmm.
So this concept doesn't really apply to video since there's no frame data that doesn't exist in this game. But I'm wondering if it will we will have like
Well,
some sort of bastardization
no,
of
no, no.
this
Okay,
if
the
uh,
difference between MMOs or sorry, well,
Mission complete!
fighting games and MMOs, or well, BDO in general, frame data does exist in BDO. However, you can't apply frame data the same because of desync and ping. Whereas in fighting games,
Mhm.
even if you are like laggy, you can still punish an opponent if you cast your button at the like whatever correct time that you need to cast it at, right?
Sure, there's
Um,
like compensation
yeah, yeah,
for lag and
yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly, right? But
That doesn't
BDO,
exist in video.
yeah,
Yeah.
BDO does not have that option, right? If you
Hmm.
are trying to punish a skill, and let's say you use like this Meiwa that I'm using right now for gathering, I'm using Red Moon, right? And there's a
Hmm.
ninja that uses block jump. In a perfect scenario, ninja can use a block jump to punish the skill, right? But then you
Hmm.
have to add desync, you have to add ping, you have to add is this person's connection stable, right?
Yeah.
In fighting games, when you hit your opponent and that skill is unsafe, you can punish that, right? Obviously, there's
Hmm.
gonna be lag, and obviously that comes down to like how fast you can press the button, stuff like that. But fighting games is much more concrete in terms of like
Yeah,
being
they
able to
kind of figured
punish.
they
Yeah,
certainly figured us out this idea of like since the game isn't as complex as like a action 3D game like we're
yeah,
doing like we're playing,
exactly.
they kind of figured this idea of like, okay, these characters have like these 20 options.
Hmm.
If these 20 options are pressed, but there's like a bit of like 5 frame desync or lag, we're literally gonna like compensate this. There's like videos on the internet where they show
Yeah.
how like the algorithm
Hmm.
is literally like skipping a few frames of the animation
Hmm.
So yeah, like there's a lot of cool stuff. But I'm wondering if after the bond skills, we'll have like a weird interaction where you basically, when you're playing like an awakening ninja, from now on, if you don't know, you have to respect their you have to respect their corrupt sword dance, you have to respect their katana shower, you have
Yeah.
to respect their murderous, you have to respect their what is it, their serpent ascension and all of the stuff. And
Yeah.
like there's literally great, so there's literally like 1 minute of skills that this guy can do, which I
Yeah.
need to play passively and respect all of them if I don't want to get like hit by some random stuff, right?
Mhm.
So
We'll
yeah,
have
I
to
don't know.
figure out. I guess that when the time
See.
comes, we'll just like figure it out, one thing at a
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, of course.
And now we're moving on to the very last skill, Drastic Measure Super Armor. What do you think of this skill? So,
I mean,
Drastic Measure right now has Super Armor, but you don't have Super
it's
Armor
just
on the
charging.
swing. Yeah, you only get Super
Yeah.
Armor on the charge. So they are making it so that you can have Super Armor while using the swing.
Mission
What do
I
you
mean,
think?
complete.
What do you think?
as a user of Drastic Measure, I used it a lot to like just get a super armor from the skill. I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm like trying to think back when Sork had super armor on their Grim Reaper's Judgment, because the skill was like the same, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's basically like we're getting Grim Reaper's Judgment
Mhm.
from Sork. I mean, it's cool, but if we had like a better, so you can do the silent charge between the
The
drastic charge,
charge.
right?
Yeah, the drastic charge,
Yeah.
yeah.
If silent charge was a bit more consistent, kind of how Sork iframe is,
Yeah.
I might see like some usefulness for it. Like
Mhm.
it might be like some of this weird like 1v1, like, or maybe
Yeah.
3v3 AOA strats.
Mhm.
Other than that, like I'm not really sure if this will be anywhere close to Katana Shower Float and like
Yeah.
Serpent or something. What do you think about it?
Give me 1 second.
Mhm. So how are you doing, guys? Is everyone doing fine on this great Sunday night? Everyone seems to be quiet. Maybe we made everyone fall asleep.
Yeah, right. We're like almost 200 viewers. People are just listening. They just want to hear us talk. Sorry about that, guys.
I'm guessing a lot of people are just grinding and
Yeah, grinding and
like doing
listening.
their own
That's
life.
usually the case whenever I'm like streaming, is people just listen. I have such a lovely voice. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we're doing what was it? Super armor on drastic measure. So I actually think this skill is going to be insanely strong. It's a sleeper strong skill, and the reason why I say this is because you can actually go for a fully protected engage, right? So like you can go into any scenario, like without obviously BSR Katana Shower. You can charge, absorb a hit, and then swing, and that's fully protected. Then you can either cast like your Ghost Step, Ninja Step, whatever you need to cast to move out of it, and it's fully protected. And in my opinion, it's kind of similar to how Wizards and Witches have Frigid Fog and Voltaic Pulse, where it's a fully protected engage with no downside. Obviously, the only downside is like you get grabbed, but like that's every grab.
I would also count the fact that you can get slowed or AoE'd down as also like a downside.
Yeah,
So
that's another one, but that's any super armor, right?
yeah, but I feel like it would be much more, as you say. But I'm just imagining as I'm hopping into an RBF, I'm using Drastic, and then I'm gonna silent charge and then do the swing, which is super armor bound. I'm just like looking at it, and I can already see how I'm getting CC'd in the middle of like silent charge, and I already feel like throwing my monitor out the window.
Well, then that's you using silent charge. Okay, that's not the drastic measure. We're talking about drastic measure. We're not talking about how shit of a skill silent charge is.
But you're saying
that will be another comp.
You're saying
another
just
topic.
stay in place and then do the bomb.
Yeah, just
Okay.
charging and swinging. Because do you know that the drastic measure animation can be like super fast animation canceled? Were you watching me grind in Sakurai when I was using drastic measure?
I saw a bit of it. Is it only when you use ebuff or?
No. You can actually cancel it blazingly fast without the charge, or sorry, without ebuff. So I was actually able to do. I have a clip of it. So give me 1 sec. I'll find the clip for you guys real fast. So I have a clip of me grinding Sakurai in Awakening, and it's actually like really good. And I was testing the katana shower, or not katana shower, the drastic measure into blade spin, which is somebody clipped it the other day. Here it is, drastic measure blade spin. So Toyo, if you're watching on stream,
yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, so this is the drastic measure into blade spin cancel without ebuff. Okay, my ebuff is on cooldown, as you can see.
Yeah, let me see it while play it. So there's like this little delay.
Yeah, there's a delay. As you guys can see, it's really fast.
Oh wow!
Do you see that? So basically,
that was insane.
Basically you just cast drastic measure and you can literally just blade spin right afterwards, and you'll be completely protected. There's zero gaps.
Do you know if
zero gaps?
Do you know if all the damage applies or
in my opinion, I think how it works is if you fast cast it, you only get the damage of the fast cast. So it doesn't get the full damage of the charge. That's my understanding of it. I don't know if they'll change that. However, if you ebuff, I think you get the... Actually, I don't think the ebuff does anything. You just get super armor on swing. No. You do get the full damage if it's ebuff. Yeah, so if you ebuff... Yeah, the ebuff is you get the full damage.
You get the full damage, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you don't need to charge anymore.
Yeah, you don't need to charge. But that only applies for ebuff. So, it's good. I think it's actually really strong.
I didn't know that you could cancel it like that. That has to be new, right?
Really fast. Yeah. It was a new addition. It came with all the serpent buffs and the katana shower attack speed buffs, or animation buffs, and they did that with drastic measure. And that's one of the reasons why I think it'll be very strong as a super armor, because you can literally just engage constantly.
Unironically, if it wasn't for this patch that we got like 1 or 2 weeks ago with the serpent change. After the bond skills, I would definitely call Ninja Awakening on like the very, very strong side of classes if they had the old serpent. I'm guessing... I kept wondering like why they did this change, and it feels kind of weird that they did it just so Ninja wouldn't be so strong. I'm wondering if they just looked and saw how like ninjas were moving like Sorks for like 2 weeks, and they were like, no, let's just not do this, guys.
Yeah.
And then they added like the weird like double cast thing.
I actually think out of all the bond skill classes, Tamer and Warrior are probably going to be like the strongest.
I saw the solar flare memes.
My god. Tamer is going to be insane. I was talking to Memo about it, and the bond skills for Tamer is like absolutely ridiculous. Like they're going to be so overtuned. I feel like they're going to get nerfed like when it comes.
It feels like Tamer is already really strong in 1v1 scenarios.
It's just gonna get stronger.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane. It's like one of the best 1v1 classes.
Crazy. It's already crazy hard to fight them, and they have like 3 or 4 protected CCs, and you're like, oh god.
They have a lingering iframe, which is really hard to punish.
Do they regenerate stamina when they do that? I don't remember.
I don't know. If Tamer Chan's in here, if you guys know, feel free to answer in chat.
It feels like Tamer never has any stamina problems. Any like
yeah, they don't really have like many downfalls as a 1v1 class. Like they have I feel as though Tamer's one of those classes that has no bad matchups. Like they don't have a single bad matchup. Even against Sork, their worst matchup is Sork, and it's like 50-50. They're like very
Wait, you're joking, right? The worst matchup is Sork?
The worst matchup
Sorks
is like...
on Europe who say like they hate Tamers, they don't want to ever play against
Yeah, it's because Tamers can literally... They can keep themselves protected while having pressure against a Sork. right? And Sorks can't really grab a tamer.
Yeah,
Obviously, right?
everyone I know as Sork, I mean everyone, a lot of people I know would tell me how like tamers literally are like abusing them, like just pressuring non-stop, like while being protected, and you have to kind of like hope they run into one of your CCs. But
Yeah,
if they're playing perfectly, there's like
it's
almost
really hard to
impossible.
punish really hard to punish a tamer.
So I like the reason I don't mind Tamer being so strong even after the bond skills is like this weird thing where like in Node Wars and Siege they kind of lose like most of that since
Yeah,
in
because
Node War and
it's a
Siege it's not
flurry of
like
damage, right? Like Node War
yeah
Siege is like constant AoE damage, and Tamers they may be protected for a while, but they can't protect themselves forever. There's always like tiny gaps, and with range, like Succession Wizards, they don't give a shit about your gaps. Because they throw skills that will last from the beginning of your skill to the end of your skill,
yeah,
right? It's a
exactly.
sequence of skills, so it's really hard to survive as a Tamer large scale because of that. However, their skirmish ability and their small scale is phenomenal.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's insane.
yeah. So that's honestly, I think a lot of people complain about Tamer, but you have to put yourself in like scenarios where I think your class is strong at. If you're always like, I feel as though a lot of people when they complain about classes, they always put themselves in a scenario where their class isn't going to do well regardless.
Yeah,
Right? I
yeah.
remember one of the biggest excuses or biggest complaints back then was Awakening Valkyrie would complain about not being a strong class, like their wheelchair class, like the wheelchair meme, right? But they're, every time they say, "Okay, my class is so bad at 1v1, blah 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 blah," and then I ask them, "Who are you fighting against?" "Well, I fight against tamers, ninjas, awakening lawns," and
Yeah,
I go, "Well, you're fighting against three of like the five
their worst
strongest, yeah,
matchups.
the five
Yeah.
strongest 1v1 classes of the entire game, and of course you're gonna do poorly against them, but you're good against mages." You're
Yeah.
you're pretty decent against warriors, right? And depending on the matchup, I guess you're okay against like the gauntlet classes, but like a really good gauntlet player would like slaughter like Valkyries. But like it comes down to like you have to know what your strengths and weaknesses of your classes. So
I certainly feel I feel like you had this talk some time ago, but I certainly feel like at some of the highest level, there is some sort of like uh there are players who can make like certain bad classes, they can make them like insanely strong, even
insanely strong.
against like
Yeah.
unfavorable matchups. It's like this thing from like League of Legends or like
Awakening
other
Ranger
games.
is one
Yeah,
of them.
like
Yeah.
Awakening Ranger has a lot of tools. It's one of the hardest classes to play, but has a lot of tools for every situation. Like it has like frontal guards and SA that turn with your camera. It has like a insanely strong grab, like a knockdown grab.
Yep.
It has like extended combos. Like if you're like 220 AP and the guy is like 350 TP, he still dies, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like it has like a lot of cool things. Obviously, in like a siege, you're gonna play succession because you're just like pressing two buttons and everything dies. But like in a 1v1 scenario, like awakening is so like precise and like very. It's kind of like a dance when you're like playing awakening ranger,
Yeah.
kind of like dancing around and like
hmm
doing like
You're
a super armor
fishing.
here. Yeah, you're like fishing
You're
for stuff
fishing.
and like waiting,
Yeah.
waiting for the guy to overextend and for you to like grab him or something like that. It's really cool, and it feels like if they ever do like 1v1 tournaments again or like maybe a 1v1 arena, it feels like a lot of like you would be surprised to open the ranking and see like
Top
a
10 and
top
Awakening
10 like
Ranger
a
in there.
ranger or
Yep.
something like that. Yeah.
I can totally see that happening. I used to play Blade and Soul a lot, and I would always look at like the top, like the ladder season, and it would reset every couple months. And I would love to see after like the first 2 weeks on what the top 10 list would look like. And it's always something that it's always unpredictable to me.
Yeah,
Some
it's like,
weeks, some seasons, there would be like a summoner in like the first top two, and then other
wait,
seasons.
to be honest, Summoner I was absolutely fucking. I don't know what did you play, but Summoner was out of control, fucking broken.
Yeah, summoner was
At
very
least,
broken. I played
at least.
assassin. I played
Oh,
and
you played Assassin. Okay,
yeah.
so Summoner was out of control, broken in
They
that
were
game.
very
I don't know
broken.
if they nerfed it at one point.
Well,
But it
they
was.
they nerfed it, but like they
Oh,
nerfed
they did.
every
Okay.
class, like all the top tier classes. Like Sin got really heavily nerfed as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was like some weeks. There was some seasons where Warlock was like a top number one at one point,
Oh, okay.
right? And then like a Blade Dancer was like top number one, and then Blade Master was top number one at one point, right? And there's just like it comes down to when patch comes out, the meta changes. If it's like a major
Mhm.
PvP patch, you have to relearn everything, like all your matchups,
Yeah,
like
for
what
sure.
is unsafe, what is safe, like everything changes. So
Well, look at it this way. Let's say you're one of these. I don't know. Let's say you play Meiwa, and everyone is like disregarding Meiwa, saying it's like the worst class in the game. But let's
yeah,
say you're playing Meiwa, and you're like, let's say a video in one of your dreams gets like a 1v1 arena,
yeah.
and this Meiwa is fighting like an unfavorable matchup, which I don't know. Let's just say, is it Sork? Or Ninja? Is Ninja
I think
supposed to be
I think
relevant?
Meiwa's unfavorite matchup would be like Mystic.
Okay, Mist. Let's say it's fighting Mystic, and
Yeah.
this Meiwa is out of control, insane. Like at the game, it's like one of
Yeah.
the best Meiwas
Mhm.
ever. Let's say even if you're fighting a Mystic and you're winning just 60% of the time, it's the rule of averages. As much the more you play, the more you will win. The more you like,
You
you will
learn.
be like,
Yeah, you
yeah, you
learn.
learn.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even if you like cap your skill caps at 60%, you're like, there's a 60% chance I will win this matchup. I cannot go any higher.
Yeah.
Then that just means you have to play like, I don't know, 5 or 10 times more games against
Mhm.
Mystics, and you will always be on top of that matchup. And like the other matchups, you're like slaughtering everyone. So you end up with like this, in like arena, you would end up with this like 70% win rate, and most
Mhm.
of your losses are from Mystics, but everything else you're like slaughtering.
Yeah.
So that's how like certain classes who are like maybe not that strong could get like a very big ranking in
Mhm.
these
Mhm.
arena games.
Yeah.
I used to play like a very weird arena game called Eloa, Elite Lords of Alliance or something like that. It was like this Diablo
Yeah.
anime clone or
Chat.
whatever.
Chat. Do you know this game? I don't know this game that that Toyo's
Oh, you
talking
don't know?
about.
Well,
I don't know.
it was basically a thing for like 6 months, because after
Okay.
that it went full on pay to win,
Yeah.
and everyone quit the game, and then
Oh.
like they just
Okay.
closed the game.
Okay.
So it's not a thing anymore. But they used to have this arena, and it was crazy how basically the same sentiment as you're saying.
Mhm.
There were certain classes that had unwinnable matchups, but you still saw like in top five one
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
these like classes, because the player overcomes most of
Yeah.
the hurdles with a lot of play, right? So
See, I think that's what comes down to when there's any kind of game that has competition or PvP and there's like depth, right? Players will find ways to win. That's the
yeah,
beauty
exactly.
of PvP, right? Players that are good, that are skilled, will always find a way to win. And
Mhm.
that's why I think that Black Desert has like one of the most flourishing PvP systems, is because they have that ability to push the game to show that, matchup, sometimes tier list isn't always 100% accurate. If you have a player that's able
Yeah.
to, you know, um, do better than what the tier list should say or what this matchup should say.
Mhm.
So
Well, it also goes both ways, right? If one, let's say one of these Meiwas becomes insanely skilled against Mystics, and other Mystics who, let's say there's two Mystics who give like troubles to this Meiwa,
yeah,
uh, every other Mystic will be like at loss of words, and like they're gonna be completely outplayed 90% of the time, because they don't know like how, since they're not as good as the other Mystics, they don't know like how to counter this Meiwa who learned how to adapt to like specific Mystic things, right? So they would never become good if they don't talk to that to those Mystics who are better,
yeah,
or if they don't
exactly.
like ask the Meiwa, and the
Mhm.
Meiwa doesn't say like, hey, look, like I'm abusing this and this and this, right?
Yeah.
So
All right, so that was a little tangent that we went on, just talking about like PvP in general and
yeah.
classes and stuff like that. So we finished all the bond skills. Hi everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. For the new people that just came in, thank you for Frosty and Nayashi for the host. Really appreciate it, guys. We have just like a spontaneous podcast, like grinding and chilling with Toyohisa here, and we're just talking about the bond skills, and we just talked a little bit about PvP in general. The next topic, we just finished the bond skills. The next topic I think we should talk about is Audelita, for like the new
Hmm.
gear, the new accuracy belt, the new Garmoth Dandy that's coming out. So I guess some people that are tuning in, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the follows. But yeah, so Audelita's coming out in 3 days, hopefully with no delays, and
Hmm.
there's gonna be new content finally. It's been time. We recently got a new Garmoth map as well for RBF. I don't know if you've done that at
Yep.
all, Toyohisa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you
I
tried
played it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we have Autolito coming out. Do you have any like thoughts on the new patch that's coming out so far?
Yeah. So, want to talk a bit about the new RPF map first?
Yeah, sure.
What do you think of it?
I love it. I love this
Mhm.
map. I actually think
Oh,
I
fuck, same here actually. I
yeah.
thought we would disagree on this, but
No,
yeah,
no,
I,
no,
I
no.
love it as well.
I actually absolutely love this map because
Mhm.
it's everything that I love in an arena, right? You
Mhm.
have no place to hide. There are no houses that suck rangers and suck wizards can stand on top of to
Mhm.
cast fucking meteors and they're tearing arrow to one-shot people from afar. Um, and I can hit any target.
Mhm.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any ranger or suck wizard that's hiding. You can't hide from me. I can get you from anywhere.
I also
Um,
like a few more things they done well is I feel like at first when you look at it and see like, wait, why do you have like a dragon running around like attacking
yeah.
people? Isn't that stupid? But looking at it like through the, I don't know, I think I played like 30 of these RBFs.
Yeah.
Looking at it, it's like an amazing tool against people who just camp all day.
Yep.
Like
It is pretty good.
there were like moments in some of my RBFs where there would be like literally 25 people in one side of the map, and they would
Mhm.
just be like Succession Valks and
Yeah.
Succession Wizard just sitting there, and like just like no way to like engage in this.
Uh-huh.
And you just like wait for Garmot to like
Mhm.
do some of the AoEs. They see the AoEs down, they scatter,
They
and
have
then
to-
go and kill everyone.
Yeah, then you just go kill the rest, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
it definitely helps a lot. At first, I actually didn't like the Garmoth because I was always like,
Mhm.
why is it always targeting me?
Mhm.
Because I think it actually targets people depending on like how successful you are in killing.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's
if
true.
that's
That was
true,
just a theory because I was killing a lot of people. I had like a really big streak, and it started targeting me, and I was just like, "So, Mr. Garmoth, you wanna chill, bro? Thanks."
That would be interesting
Um,
if they did that. I'm not sure if that's.
I don't know if that's true. I just
Mhm.
felt as though it was targeting me at one
Yeah.
point, so I just based my opinion off that one RBF. But I actually think it's great. I'm loving that new RBF. I think it's really, it's a good way for a lot of people to go in and
Mhm.
just PvP for fun. You don't have to learn
Yeah,
about
exactly.
anything. You just go in and just start PvPing. And it's really
Another
great that
another
way, so.
thing it has that I really appreciate is I feel like the pots on the ground. You know how in the normal RBF there are like trial characters and you're sitting here with like your 300 AP, 350 DP or whatever, and you see like a trial character, you don't even bother to attack this guy and you like move on, and he like does like an entire combo on you and he doesn't even move your bar.
Yeah.
I like this thing where like one of these trial characters can get one of those pots and I don't know, maybe
Yeah, the
debuff
large
or
pots.
whatever.
Yeah,
And
they
he
can
can
actually
one-shot you.
he can actually dance
Yeah.
you. Yep.
Yeah, so
I like those
it's
things too.
yeah, it feels like it's cool for like the players who are either testing classes because
Mhm.
let's say you want to test like I don't know Sork or whatever,
Yeah.
but you obviously don't want to buy pen weapons, so you want to
Mhm.
see how it is to have like I don't know 280 EP. You
Yeah.
get one of those pots, and for like 30 seconds or 60 seconds, whatever it is, you're like feeling how it is to be like have like that I don't know
That amount of
50
AP.
extra gear score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like it. Obviously, on the other end are like the 700 gear score players who take those and they go
Yeah.
like 1v10, which is
Yeah,
like,
they're unkillable at that point.
all right, bro.
You gotta call Garmoth. You gotta call Garmoth at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be like, okay, guys, let's PA to kill this guy now. But yeah, I like it as well. I feel
I'm
like it's a
enjoying it a
good
lot.
addition.
Yeah. I actually, in my opinion, I like it more than the old Castle Ruins RBF, mainly because it's it allows for everybody to be able to be targetable. Like when you in the old Castle Ruins, there were a lot of the meta change in RBF a lot. Where meta in RBF today is you run beside mages and they PA you, they heal you, and you just sit in balls and nobody pushes, and it's so fucking boring. Back then, like maybe 2.5 years ago, I think Mazep talks about this a lot. Whereas back then, people would just run at you. They just run and they just fight, and you just try to counterplay. You just try to outplay players that are always close
Yeah.
range. People don't sit in balls. Nowadays people just sit and they sit beside mages. They ask for heals. They ask for PAs, right? And they just cast range skills. And that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what RBF has turned into. And people just hog points, you know. Um, and I feel like that's a very
It's just
boring.
boring.
It's just really
Yeah.
boring to do that, right? Like, yeah, sure,
Like
you want to win,
what?
but like that's not
But also,
fun.
what are you like? What are you practicing? If you're like in a node or in siege,
Yeah.
and your shot caller is telling you, "Okay, guys, TP in and go." If you've never practiced like a double TP in, like a
Mhm.
PA or Meteor or whatever, how will you like in the node where when it's actually important to play well and win?
Exactly.
How will you like be like, oh, this one thing I never practice because I just sit at in the back and cast Blizzard all day.
Mhm.
Like, how will that person like like do that thing correctly? Like, they don't. I can just tell you from my
Yeah.
guild, we have people who don't want to push or like very scared most of the time to push. Like, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Like, even with PA on, that's the funny thing. Like, it's just
Yeah.
why? Just why? Just go in. Like, doesn't matter. Just walk. You don't even need movement skills. Just
Mhm.
walk in. Like, you can't die for like 5 seconds.
All right, so we have a couple questions before we get into the Autolita,
Mhm.
the Autolita topic. We'll start off with Nayashi's question, since it's
Mhm.
like the first on my list right now. What's your opinion on the meta shift with new accuracy accessories versus evasion? So I don't know if Nayashi's still here. I think Nayashi's
Uh,
still here.
so I feel like so I know how some people look at it and think like this is they're trying to do something
Mhm.
like something as okay, let's counter evasion by adding more accuracy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. To me, because it's weird as like a game designer to think from this perspective of like this thing is really overpowered in this game. What can we do? And someone says like, okay, let's nerf it, and then the other guy, no, let's just add more accuracy stuff to counter the evasion, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense to me. What I feel like is happening is they want to give you like a decent solution for any accessory in case you wanna like, let's say I invested 40 billion in distortions.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I don't want to happen is I don't want to find out that my class doesn't have enough accuracy and then sell my distortions and get downs or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't want that. That would be horrible. That's like wasted time. But I would be up if they would add some good accuracy rings and the accuracy belt. That's very good.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, cool. I have distortions. I'm gonna get the accuracy belt. On the other hand, maybe there are people who have like 2 pen Tangrad earrings, and they're like, dude, I don't wanna lose my pens. Or they have like
Yeah.
two pen narc accessories. Like, dude, I
Yeah.
feel like this earring is really good. I don't want to lose that. Just
But
to
they
get
do no
distortions.
damage. They do no damage against evasion, so they have to like put up with it. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. So,
they have to go
yeah.
through the dilemma of I've worked so hard for these 2 pen earrings that I've been using,
Mhm.
and they're absolutely useless in today's meta.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and if I sell
So
them, I lose so much money.
I can kind of see it how they're like trying to add different things for like to give more options for builds and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So the more like reasonable thing to do moving forward, I feel like is to add like rings and like belts and stuff like that. That's similar to distortions. So something like a ring that's like minus 2 TP plus I don't know 5 AP or something like
Yeah.
that. You know. So you can also help the players who went Dawn earrings. You can also give them options, right? What do you think about it?
Um. Okay, so I've had this kind of gripe with PA for a little while now, and it's basically when they bring out new content or gear meta, they don't fully test it. I feel as though they put it in Global Labs, which is technically a test server, and they give it out to like the people that test it are probably 5% of the total population that's actually playing the game.
Let's be more generous. There are 10
Oh,
people who tested.
okay, exactly, right? And that's not a good, that's not a good statistic for what this game will look like, right?
Yeah.
And I feel as though because of this, right, it's really hard to judge how this item will turn out, or how this class will turn out, or how whatever will turn out in Global Labs.
Yeah.
And so let's say, for example, they released Renown score at the time when Renown score was
Mhm.
out, and they obviously there's no way for them to test it unless they put it onto main server, right? And that's
Mhm.
like one of the big problems on testing in any game is like you need a really big what's the word step
Yeah, like a community that tests.
like
or-
there's a word for it. It's like a stat pool or something.
Oh.
Chat, you guys know what I'm talking about? Like not enough data. Not enough data. There's a word for that. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is like testing with such a small amount of data is really hard to determine how this item will play out. Sample size. Thank you, sample size.
Oh, samples.
Yeah, so it's really hard to determine this because you can't tell how good an item will be or how good this meta will be like because meta is determined by players.
Mhm.
Right? And that's how you determine what like how the game shifts in terms of gear, skill, classes, like what the meta is by players. And if you don't have a good sample size, you can't really tell how powerful certain things are. Right? Like when Succession Wizard first came out, Global Labs, they were shit. They weren't even that great. They had to buff Succession Wizard several times for them to be really strong, and then it took like another maybe 3-4 weeks for them to realize, oh, should we try these in siege or large scale? And and meta evolves and shifts when people are starting to see, okay, this class is really strong. This class has a lot of advantages. And you can't test that in global labs, right? You can't just test that. Okay, let me just throw this test out 1 week, and let's put it into Korean main server. That's just not enough information for the developers to think, okay, how do we tune this so that it's balanced? How do we tune this that it's fair for every single player, or at least a majority of players, right? They can't tune that in 1 week. It's just not enough time, right? You release a global apps and then you put it into the main server in 1 week. It's just not enough time for the developers to consider what are ways to balance this to make it fair for everybody. And I think that's a really big problem with balancing in this game is that there's just not enough sample size when something is first released, right? And they just throw it out because people want content, they want changes, right? But when the change is negative or the change is too strong or it shifts the balance too much, people are going to complain about it, and that's like one of the big problems that Pearl Abyss has, whereas some like other servers or other games like Dota, so Dota has 2 systems, right? They have like casual play, like rank systems, and then they have tournament play. And tournament play uses something called Captain's Draft, or Captain's Mode. And with Captain's Mode, some classes that recently just got a change, or recently got a buff, or if a new hero was implemented, is banned. Like you can't even use it. Right, because it allows times for
because
players.
They're waiting the casual.
Yeah. They're testing it in casual play. They're testing it in rank play, like just pub play, to see for months. They test it for months, and they go, okay, is this class balanced? Is it fair? Do we need to tweak it a little bit? Like how do we adjust this so that it's strong? Because you may not know this, but if you buff an example, if you buff like something on one class, that means it's like a chain of reaction, right? Like let's say for Ninja, you buff Ninja's Malice, right? Now, if you buff Malice, it's going to be really strong against like range classes, right? So that means do you have to buff range classes? So you have to buff range classes to get forward guard. But now if you buff like Rangers to give them forward guard, now they're going to be
spellcasters or something.
they're going to be really strong against like other spellcasters, right? Like it's a chain of reaction and balancing, and that's I think like Pearl Abyss gets a lot of shit for balancing, or this company's really bad at balancing, but it's a really difficult job to balance things, right? Because
I would even call it like almost near impossible, because in games like Dota and LoL, there are literal like huge teams of people who are
they have
just
full
on this.
teams on balancing.
Full teams who are and they're still getting hate. Like I'm not sure how much hate Dota is getting, since I don't follow that scene. But in League of Legends, there's literally like non-stop hate towards Riot about how they're horrible at balancing.
Exactly.
I don't feel like they do like that bad of a job, but a lot of sentiment is like is shown how like guys, like you have no idea what you're doing. Like you change this one thing here, and now this one champion has like 5 matchups where he steamrolls it every single time. Like, it's impossible to win for other people.
So that's why balancing in BDO is very difficult, and I feel as though when Pearl Abyss balances, they kind of just throw
They throw
They
stuff
just
at the wall
throw-
and
yeah.
hoping it sticks.
Yeah, they just throw it at the wall and they don't really consider the consequences of like, oh, let's just give wizards frigid fog and voltaic balls together.
Mhm.
And let them be able to
Yeah.
animation cancel it together. They don't really consider what kind of effects it does to
Mhm.
the player base. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's like a lot of how they balance the game.
Mhm.
I obviously don't know what goes down in the development team. It's just for me a lot of things are very overtuned, and that's just not Succession Wizard, right? There's other classes that are, in my opinion, are very overtuned. Like Succession Ninja was overtuned at one point, but they nerfed the shit out of them constantly, right?
Yeah.
Succession Kuno
For
right
like
now.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Succession Kuno right now is very overtuned. They haven't really nerfed Succession Kuno too heavily as they have with like Suck Ninja.
I still don't understand how Succession Kuno escaped the accuracy patch. That
Yes,
Ninja got,
I
like,
actually have
3
no fucking idea.
Dude, I don't understand how that happened.
I don't know how Sakuno hasn't gotten like a severe nerf yet, but that's just
So for Succession Ninja, our damage is still like insane. We just need to do more skills. Like back like then with the accuracy patch, you would just press Shift C, which is like the float air attack.
Black Moonlight.
Black Moonlight.
Yeah,
We wouldn't even cancel it. You just press like Shift C,
and you
and
kill.
the guy's
like,
almost dead,
yeah,
and
and
then
then you
like you
blade
press
spin.
another skill and you kill him. Like it's like, but nothing's different now. Like you just add like 3 more fillers in there, and the guy's still dead.
Yeah,
But with Succession Kuno, like there's literally like they hit you with a stiffen from their Shift E, and then they float you with like either Shadow Stomp or what's that other skill that's
Wheel of
like
Wrath.
Wheel of Wrath.
yeah, Wheel of Wrath.
Wheel of Wrath is literally Serpent Ascension.
That
like-
skill is so much more powerful than Serpent, in my opinion, dude.
I don't know. It's
It
strong,
has
that's what-
30% accuracy. You can buff it with the triple moon rune, and it also has a very fast animation cancel, which Serpent Ascension doesn't really have.
So, I feel like Succession Kuno is strong, and I wouldn't. I'm not sure. Like, would it be like overpowered? I would definitely nerf things like Wizard like a lot sooner than Succession Kuno. But I'm just like wondering, like, dude, how did Ninja get like the patch,
Yeah.
and Succession Kuno like completely
I-
dodged it? Like,
I
just how
think-
is this possible?
I think, in my opinion, I think Korea has a lot to do with balancing. Like they base it off of the Korean meta, not so much like NAEU. That's at least to my understanding.
Well, I
And-
have a counter argument to that. Actually, there was like an interview. That,
Yes, I was just about to bring that up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he was talking about a Korean player. And the Korean player, I made a comment on that video too, saying I found it ironic that Korean players
Yeah.
think that they listen to NAEU, but NAEU think the developers listen to Korean players, and I thought that was really funny,
Yeah.
right? But so like if they don't listen to either of us or any of our regions, then who do they listen to? So that's why it was kind of strange to me that like what meta are they actually listening to, or what
It's also
region?
that there are a lot of the PA team is actually like players themselves. So I'm wondering, like, is none of them like a Kuno player, so they can know like how strong the class is? Is the one guy just like a ninja and he's
I
like,
know
"You
for a
guys, like,
fact-
this is really overpowered."
I know for a fact that one of the development
Mission
players is a ninja.
complete.
When,
Oh,
when-
okay.
when he first came out, when Suck Ninja first came out, that class was so stupid.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know for a fact that the development team definitely had a say in what Succession
Mhm.
Ninja looked like. It was so broken. I guys, I'm not gonna even bullshit you. Suck Ninja, when it was first released, was
Dude,
incredibly
it was out of
stupid.
control.
It was actually
But
out
you
of
know-
control. Yeah.
You know what's funny? We should listen to that first episode we did after Suck came out for like 3 weeks or something
Mhm.
like that. What's our opinion of it back then? Because back then we didn't even know that some of the nerfs were coming, I think.
Yeah.
And
But
we
no,
were
even
like-
back then, I thought Succession Ninja was very
Mission
strong, though. Like
complete.
I've
Yeah,
always
no,
considered to be
same.
strong. I felt.
Yeah, I was like amazed how other people were saying like, "Oh, Awakening is still better." I'm like, what?
Yeah, like when
Hello?
I actually had a conversation with like really strong ninjas back then when Succession first came out, and they said Awakening was still better, and I was like, I was actually going to make a video explaining how much better Succession Ninja was compared to Awakening, but then they came out with the nerf, so I was like, oh fuck, I have to scrap this video now. I was actually going to make a video, and the video was literally Succession versus Awakening, which is stronger.
Yeah.
That was my video, but I had to scrap it because they nerfed it like one day after I made I was planning to make the video, and I was like, yeah, like Succession is actually better in like every scenario. I created like so many different scenarios, and I was like, Succession is better in every single scenario.
Yeah.
But
Even
but
even
yeah.
now, like Succession is like out of control and like it's more of like playstyle. So Succession and Awakening, I feel like
Yeah.
both are good in Node or in Siege right now, but it's more like on Succession you go kind of like don't think that much. Go in, do 3 skills, kill those 2 people, then go out. That's like
Yeah.
Succession basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, Awakening is more like, okay, let's bait these 2 people. Okay, they overextended, execute them. Okay,
Yeah.
2 more people are coming. Okay, one of them got baited. I'm executing him. Kind of more like a tamer's
Yeah,
playstyle.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you hit and run, you fish for CCs. Succession is
Hmm.
just like you can just
Brute
you
damage.
can brute force
Brute
people
force.
with
Yeah.
Succession.
That's why I
Yeah.
like it so much. It's literally like just go in,
Yeah.
let the gear do the talking, and yeah, go
Exactly.
out.
And I think that's like what the meta is now in PvP is you if you're not a class that can brute force, you're not considered a
Mhm.
strong class, right? Like in the
And Node or Siege, yeah, for sure.
yeah, no receipt for Siege is definitely for sure like that. The meta has shifted to that kind of play style where if you're not considered a class that can just brute force super armor trade people to oblivion, then you're not going to be doing well. Like people don't give a
Mhm.
shit about if you land CCs on 4 people because there's going to be 10 people around you casting AoEs. You're not going to be
Yeah.
able to follow up. Like no
And
awakening
even
ninja in Siege is able to kill like groups of like 10 people all at once. They can't do that
yeah,
anymore.
you don't
Right?
because most of the time in Siege against like decent guilds,
Yeah.
they have like that one guy who actually thinks for a second and he's like, oh, why don't I just use a slow, unprotected slow here?
Yeah, just
And
chain
you,
lightning. Just
yeah,
chain lightning
and
randomly.
you get slowed and you're actually dead. You need to escape, or V because
Yeah.
you can't like move.
It's so hard
You
to
can't do
escape,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah. So even if that guy is doing something unprotected, he's between like 10 other people. Even
Mhm.
if you do like a CC skill, there's like a very low chance you're like
Yeah.
CCing that one guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, this also applies for Succession, by the way. Like there's so much protected SA stuff that
Yeah.
you actually suffer from getting slowed all the time. Like you need to be
Yeah.
like really careful with
Yeah.
that. But yeah, petty grievances with Toyo and Yellow. But yeah, uh, I don't know. Like Succession Kuno is out of this world, but please just someone take that one guy who's working at PA as a Succession wizard. Just just tell him like, hey dude, why don't you take like a free day from work? And in that one day when he's not at work, just fucking nerf some of their skills. Like, they're, I wouldn't mind if the class is really broken for Siege, how Awakening Wizard is basically. But
Mhm.
why the fuck did you make it like out of control for 1v1 as well, right?
Yeah,
You know?
I don't know what they were thinking when they were making Succession Wizard.
Hmm.
They gave it every option you possibly need or can get for large
Hmm.
scale, and they put it in
Yeah.
one class. Do you
Yeah.
have do you have super armor damage? Check. Do you have super armor CCs? Check.
They have good iframes.
Do you do you have a cancelable iframe that can be used twice?
Check.
Check. Do you have a evasion debuff? Check.
They have
Um,
knockdowns. Check.
Oh my god. Do you have PAs? Do you have heals? Do you have a fast heal? Do you have an instant heal? Check. Like
Instant
they
knockdowns.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. They have so many things you need for large scale and to win in large scale in today's era. It's just so much. And now I don't know if this is a new meta for you guys in Pearl or sorry, in EU Toyo,
Mhm.
but Succession Witch has become a very popular class now too. They're very strong. Like they're not as good as Succession
Ah.
Wizard, but they're becoming a lot more popular now because of all the recent buffs that
Mhm.
they got. Very very
So
strong.
I haven't seen it as much here. Here everyone and their mother is switching to Valkyrie for
Oh
some
yeah,
reason.
Suck Valkyrie is also very
Dude,
very stupidly
we have
overtuned
like
right now.
we have like I think everyone saw that no, I think everyone who saw that interview with Hidan saw like that guy who said like Succession Valkyrie is really strong, and they're like, oh really? Let me just get these weapons then. Like fucking 90% of the siege scene is just Succession Valkyries
Yeah,
throwing lances
Succession-
at each other. I don't know, it's weird.
Succession Valkyrie is so strong right now, man. Like they're
Yeah,
so
it's-
fucking strong. It's actually
It's
insane.
strong. It's not so like I wouldn't consider it like out of the world overpowered. Like that's like reserved for Succession Wizard.
Yes.
But it's definitely like
They
more
have
overtuned
they're a
than-
class that has like so in my opinion this is the perfect way to put tier lists like in the game right? And Suck Wizard would be like S tier, right?
Yes,
Like
plus,
right,
plus, plus.
yeah. Right now, Suck Wizard is like considered S tier in terms of like if we're only talking about large scale, right? And Succession Valkyrie is like, so if Suck Wizard is S plus tier, Suck Valkyrie would be like S minus tier. That's how I see it. Like
I see, okay.
they're S tier ranking, but they're not as broken, stupidly broken in like many options as Suck Wizard is, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I see Suck Valk. They're just really good in so many scenarios, but Suck Wizard is just a tiny bit better in all those scenarios.
Well, there are also like there's like certain like guilds in Europe who are like, if you're not playing Succession Wizard, you're literally trolling. It doesn't matter what class you're playing, but you're literally trolling. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind it that much. Like all of these weird like how everyone is like just playing the most overpowered class at any point. Like it feels just weird to me. I was never like that kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't like tier whoring. I never did that in
Yeah.
fighting games. I never did that in fighting games, and I'll never do it in any game that I play. I don't like picking a class because it's strong. Because the problem with that is inevitably that class will get nerfed.
You know what's
And
funny though?
I'm just gonna be pissed off.
Even though I'm 100% sure this happened to you as well. Even though we both have like this opinion of we don't like tier whoring, when Succession Ninja was strong,
Mission
or like when
complete.
Ninja was strong, when we had BSB float in 2018 or whatever,
Yeah.
people were accusing me of like, what the fuck you're playing? Oh, it's like the most broken class in the game, and I'm like, dog, I've been playing the same class for 4 years. Like, what do you expect? Like, do you want me to switch from it now that it's like the best class in the game? No, of course I play it, but like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
But at the time, Awakening Ninja was really strong and had a lot of strong options, but so did Sork. So did
Yeah.
Warrior. So did Mystic. Like, every class was so broken at that point as well. So it's really hard to say like what was the most powerful class of all time in BDO.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I would definitely put Succession Wizard somewhere around.
Oh yeah, Succession Wizard definitely up there.
And
Succession
I
Ninja
feel-
when it first came out was very broken
Dude,
as well.
I would say Succession Ninja, but the problem is we got nerfed like so fast.
Yeah,
Like,
we
it
didn't get to abuse it. We
Yeah,
didn't get to
because
abuse it.
I keep looking at some of my montages after I started playing Succession, and obviously I had no fucking idea what I was doing since I didn't know how to play the class. But I feel like, dude, if I knew how to play the class back then, holy shit, like
Oh
the
yeah,
amount of like insane stuff I would.
there would be so many montages.
Yeah.
People would just be dying left and right. And they also nerfed RBF too with the damage reduction, max damage output change. That shit.
Yeah, allegedly Succession doesn't suffer that much from it since you're like you chew through DR anyway. But yeah, it is a bit annoying for sure for Succession.
Alright, so we got a couple questions. Actually, a couple comments. Let's see. Like Zerx got nerfed badly with the swap, and then it ruined one of their main combos and reduces the amount of mix-ups. The triple rune thing doesn't do anything in PvP. Any wheel is so long and unprotected. Well,
Yeah, but the same as Serpent, right? Or
yeah, the protection is irrelevant for a skill that is fast, right? Like Boss Slaughter doesn't really have protection, Murder Snit doesn't really have protection, and Shadow Stomp doesn't have protection, but those skills are still incredibly powerful, right? They're fast,
I mean,
and you can cancel them quickly.
literally
So-
everyone on Succession, on Ninja and Kuno, Awakening and Succession, is using Shadow Stomp all the time. It's one of the most unprotected skills that literally kills you if the guy is casting a CC in a
Yeah.
certain area where he did the skill.
Sup-
You just die.
Yeah,
You
it's
get
super.
CC'd every single time.
It's super
It's
unsafe.
Yeah, it's super unsafe to do in a
Right?
group of
But
people.
a lot of
everyone
people-
spams it.
Yeah, but everyone uses it because it's fast, it's a float, high damage, high accuracy, right?
Yeah.
And that is like that's something
Mission
that a lot of
complete.
people they don't really understand about PvP and BDO is that people think that this skill's not protected, this skill's bad because it's not protected, right? But that's not the meta allows for you to cast an unsafe skill because not everybody can punish every skill perfectly at all time.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the power of Succession Kuno is that they have a lot of unprotected skills, but the power of them is that they can cast them quickly and they can animation cancel them, right? So that's
To be honest, for Succession Kuno and Succession Wizard and Succession Decay enters here as well, and maybe what's the? There was another Succession, but maybe
Succession
Guardian.
Sork.
Oh, Succession Sork as well.
Yeah.
All of these classes, it doesn't matter if you have 2 good protected CC skills. In a Node War and Siege, you only need the engagements don't last like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like I know people are looking at those RBF montages of like someone playing for 30 seconds and like killing 30 people in like a spawn, but that
Yeah.
doesn't happen in Node Wars.
No,
Like
it doesn't.
it's impossible. If you're playing against good people, there will be that one guy with like more than 10 IQ who will just throw like a slow spell and you're fucked.
Yeah,
like,
you're
every single
fucked.
time. So the way you play like these scenarios is you're trying to be as efficient as possible. The way you play efficiently is you go in, you do your 2 skills, you're like,
Yep.
okay, cool, I kill this guy, or okay, cool, this
Mhm.
guy needs one more tap. You go in, you do an unprotected skill, but you
Yeah.
tap that guy, you block jump out of there, and then you're done. And then you wait for your cooldowns.
Yeah.
That's how every single good ninja who's like a fragger plays, in Europe at least.
Yep.
So, like, it doesn't matter that, oh, I only have like 2 seconds of like protected something. You only need 2 seconds. Like
Yeah.
Shift E for Kuno, like smoke bomb into Shift E, that's all you need. After that, you block jump, you look who's like almost dead, you teleport to that guy, you execute him, and then you get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so somebody said it has forward guard on cast. Shadow Stomp does not have forward guard on cast if you use the animation cancel version. It only has forward guard if you slow cast it. So most ninjas and kunos, they don't ever use a slow version because it's not fast enough and you can easily get punished.
There are
So-
some stupid tricks you can do against like Sork, where you like slow cast Shadow Stomp, and then they do like a skill on you, and then you like the skill like cast itself if you get hit by
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something,
Yeah.
and then like you instantly teleport to them and they instantly get CC'd. So that most of the time happens when you like fat finger it, and then you write to them like, "Oh, I wanted that," but everyone knows that's not true. But, yeah.
But yeah, so that's basically, you know, some classes that are broken, you know, some classes so some people think that some skills are unprotected, but the skills are usable. You just got to know how to
Mhm.
use them, when to use them, and like what is the time frame of when you can use certain skills. I think
Yeah.
Succession Witch is just as broken as Wizard. I played on EU and the CC chain is dumb. Yep. I've been saying this for time. Ever since they buffed the Succession Witch is actually insanely fucking strong. People who love Witch but reroll to Succession Wizard because of just like how the meta is pushing, are welcome to play Suck Witch now because Suck Witch is just insanely strong. And I think a lot of people haven't really explored Suck Witch yet, but
Mhm.
yeah, they're very, very fucking strong. Mystic after release, kind of the same tier as Suck Wizard now. I don't know about that. I would disagree, heavily disagree. Like Mystic on,
I
But-
remember that time.
I remember it
but
too.
I feel like I would give a special shout out to Decay at release rather than Succession, like rather than Mystic at release. Do you remember Decay?
Oh
at
yeah,
release?
iframe on every fucking movement skill.
Dude,
Like
Decay and like zero stamina cost and everything.
zero stamina cost. Yeah, they can literally
feel
move
like
forever.
That was like one of those things where you're like, huh, this class is kind of
Instant stiff from
killable.
instant range stiff on Seed of Catastrophe.
yeah.
Yeah,
like-
that skill is so fucking strong too.
and they nerfed it fast. I think.
Oh yeah, they nerfed
like,
it. They nerfed it instantly.
like
It was so strong.
Awaken Decay like lasted just like 1 month or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they removed it.
So, Mystic, after release, the Awakening of Mystic was really broken because it had Spiral Torpedo Super Armor and it had HP,
Yeah.
800 HP on cast.
Yeah,
So-
everyone was complaining about that. Yeah.
That skill was really strong, and they also had Float on Rising Dragon. So, okay, that class is strong, but in no way did it compare to Siege. Like what it could do in Siege. It was still not that strong in Siege. You still get clapped by fucking Awakening Wizard and Awakening Witch at that time. Those were like the kings of Siege and large scale at that time, and like just group fights in general. Awakening Mystic was really strong because they could keep themselves alive, but they still weren't able to deal damage to a lot of those players.
Also, I feel like back then there weren't that many like evasion DP mystics.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't they didn't really.
And there was
find
no
out, like,
levers. There's
yeah,
no
there was
levers
no
back
levers.
then. Mhm.
People didn't really find out like such a like good. Like you see some mystics today, they're like pretty unkillable.
They're
in
unkillable.
Siege.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
mystics are actually just unkillable in Siege,
Mhm.
right? But like that's what I mean by like when certain classes come out, how OP are they, right? And in my opinion, the strongest class that has ever, well, the strongest like several, like three, 4 classes is Succession Wizards, definitely top 5 of all time of like the most powerful classes, no question. They are literally strong in every single PvP scenario. Tournament play, 1v1, 3v3, Arena of Arsha, Siege, large scale, RVF, nowhere.
Like small scale,
every single form of PvP, Succession Wizard is like a top 5 class. So powerful.
I feel like if you go like put like wizards in like we have this in Europe, the flank teams of like different guilds actually have like wizards.
Flex teams. Yeah, exactly.
Succession
Because
wizards.
they're just as mobile, right?
Yeah.
So it's just they're so strong.
It's just that burst of movement. You don't need anything else.
You don't need anything else,
like,
right? And then you have a follow up with the team. Then if you stay there, you can heal. You can add more SA damage. Like they just have so many options.
Blizzard, it's out of control.
Okay, so moving on, I've been playing Awakening Valk on this season, switching to Succession when I get the SP. People don't realize how tanky Awakening Valk is, holy cow. Heal, DP buzz, bunch of SA bursts. Yeah, they're really strong, for sure.
Really strong. And their block is strong as well.
Yeah.
Like, can withstand a lot.
I don't agree with your sentiment that Suck Kuno is overtuned, but curious to know what you would nerf about it. Okay, so my opinion is how they nerf Succession Ninja is how they should nerf Kuno.
Mission complete.
Remove some of the mobility and some of the accuracy on skills. Like give them the same treatment. Succession
so Ninja, their two biggest nerfs, well, 3 biggest nerfs in my opinion for Suck Ninja was accuracy nerf. They remove accuracy on like almost every single skill, and they nerf Blade Spin down to 5% accuracy instead of 30. That was like the most terrifying nerf that Suck Ninja's ever had. The second nerf, in my opinion, was like the really big one, is the Alert Stance nerf. Obviously for its mobility. And the third one is the cooldown for
Malice.
Malice and Evasive Shriek and Malice, right? So they increase the cooldowns by 1 second, which in my opinion, like distance nerfs, damage nerfs is like, that's natural. That's like kind of common. But cooldown nerfs are always really, really painful for any Suck Ninja or any class. Whenever you get any kind of cooldown nerf, your whole playstyle has to adjust, and you have to. Everything is slower. You have to time everything differently. You have to time it slower, right? And that's just like the pain of having to deal with like your cycle. But yeah, so how I would nerf Succession Kuno is I would nerf obviously their accuracy. So the wheel would not do as much damage. They just hit too fucking hard. 30% accuracy is too hard. And they also have Prime Shadow Stomp. So maybe that skill shouldn't hit as hard. But the reason why that skill hits really hard is because Kuno's Prime Shadow Stomp has a DP debuff on it. So all their Shadow skills, so Shadow Explosion, Shadow Clone, and Shadow Stomp all have minus 20 DP debuff. So the moment you hit it, it's already doing more damage than any other skill in your kit. The moment you hit it. Whether it's unprotected or not is irrelevant because the skill is so fast. How many of you realistically can say you can punish Shadow Stomp 10 out of 10 times in any large scale 1v1 scenario? I can't even do that myself. Okay? My reaction is like pretty decent, but I don't think I can punish Shadow Stomp perfectly 10 out of 10 times.
Well, we're not like our class isn't that good for it. But for example, like a Sork, if they know like the Kuno is about to cast Shadow Stomp, they literally can, like DOD themselves.
They can punish
and the Kuno gets CC'd.
Yeah, they can definitely punish it, right? But I'm talking about like majority speaking. How many times can you punish certain skills? How many times can you punish like a Shadow Stomp in like a scenario, right? Like it's just it's such a fast skill. So obviously, like the damage is understandable, but their mobility is just so really, really powerful. It's so fast, they can disengage really fast, really far. Tendon Cutter is obviously one of the most powerful skills in the game. I think everybody can agree with me. Prime Tendon Cutter, Succession Kuno's Tendon Cutter is probably one of the most powerful skills in the game. The fact that it can hit you from like half the arena and hit your back, not your front. They can hit your back from that far away is really insane. Succession Ninja can do something similar, right? But they have to use like 4 or 5 skills to get, that much farther.
It's basically like a combination of like you want to maybe evasive shuriken, then like cancel it with LMBR and BW.
Yeah,
and
they
then
have
like
you have to use a few more skills, right?
Yeah, you alert stance and then you shift E behind them, and that's like really overpowered and fast. But Yeah, there's a lot of cooldowns going into it.
Yeah. So that
I
is yeah,
I
that's
don't feel like like Tendon Cutter is that overpowered once you know how to
yeah,
play
when you
against
learn how
it.
to punish it or learn how to deal with it,
Yeah.
it's a lot safer. But I'm talking about there's a lot of scenarios where you can't avoid it. You have to predict it ahead of time and you have to read the cooldown. Right? And that's understandable.
Yeah.
So that's like in my opinion one of the strongest skills. It has ankle cutter, obviously is unprotected, but it's blazingly fast.
hmm
They also have flash slash, which can be used in two different ways. If you use it without the smoke screen, you can maneuver it. If you use it with smoke screen, you cast it in place, but it's a protected engage. It's very powerful. You can cancel it afterwards into a ghost step. Um,
Can you
and
tell? Can you tell if the Kuno is using the actual smoke screen or the
oh yeah,
cancelled?
I can tell.
Oh,
I can
you
tell
can
every
tell.
time. Yeah, I can tell every time.
Okay.
Um, it's the how fast it comes out. One,
Oh,
if
okay.
there's a smoke around it at the beginning.
Mhm.
And how fast the first stiff comes out. So if you're like watching on how to punish Sakuno, the first thing you want to do is if you see Flash Slash, the first thing you do is you super armor right away, or you frontal right away. You don't even
Mhm.
take a risk. If you frontal, they might use the movement Flash Slash to go behind you. So it's better to use super armor just ahead of time to deal with Sakuno when they're using Flash Slash. So and then
I.
you see the little smoke. And when you see the smoke, that's when you
Mhm.
can see you can grab that. And whether you
I see.
yeah, that's how you determine how to punish Flash Slash. And obviously, if you super arm, you linger it, and they move away, then that's like you can't punish that afterwards because they can go step after it.
Yeah, I
Um,
had some time ago. I had like some duels against like a Kuno from you. It was like really good, like Rostame.
yeah, yeah.
And
I saw
I
your fight
remember,
against him. That was pretty
yeah, I
cool.
remember
That was a pretty
back
good fight.
then I didn't know how like I didn't know like this specific thing like if they are like different for me like it kind of looked like it's an animation. So I basically played those duels kind of like okay I'm just gonna respect like every time he's gonna do this I'm gonna respect it. And then I started testing like somewhere in the middle how well would it work if I would just do like a ghost step into a like I would just do like a shadow slash linger
Hmm.
and then grab him out of it and it worked like a lot of times like it's hard for Kunos to adapt to that if you just like completely essay all of their damage and just then go for the grab in it
Hmm.
it's hard for Kunos to deal with that.
All right, I see you guys. I see you guys in chat trying to say that Sakuno's not broken. But how many of you guys are Sakunos? Answer me that. I know all of you guys are Sakunos.
Got him.
All right.
To be honest
Every
I
single one of
wouldn't
you guys are
nerf
saying Sakunos are not broken or Sakunos.
if,
I
if
play
they
Suck
remove
Ninja. I play Suck Ninja, and I think Suck Ninja is very strong. I don't say it's
if
a
they
weak class.
if they remove some of the accuracy from Sakuno, I'm fine. It's fine. Just leave it there. Let's focus on Wizard.
And if you guys think Striker is good against Kuno, fight. I dare any of you guys to duel any of my Suck Kunos in my guild as a Striker. I guarantee you guys will get slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered. Okay. Striker doesn't do shit against Sakuno. Oh my god, they're so slow. You know how fast it is for Sakunos to disengage? It's like ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, it's they have a lot of options for
They
sure.
have so many
Mission
options.
complete.
Now, I'm not saying Sakuno deserves as many nerfs as Suck Ninja, because Suck Ninja definitely was one of the strongest classes when they first released. I definitely agree with that. However, I do think that Suck Kuno needs to be tuned better, just like how Suck Wizard needs to be tuned better.
Yeah.
Because some of the skills are overtuned. Now, okay, there's a difference between what's broken and what's overtuned. All right, Kuno, in my opinion, is overtuned. They're not
Yeah, it's a bit
broken.
overtuned.
They're not broken. Okay, they're not broken, but they need to be tuned down a tiny bit. So, like some skills that travel too far, maybe decrease the distance. Some skills that hit too hard, maybe decrease the accuracy. It's not. It's not the class is broken, but the class is overtuned. Just like how Suck Wizard, in my opinion, is broken. It's not overtuned. It's just broken. It has way too many options and too much damage. It has too many of everything. Okay.
Honestly, the nerfs they would have to give to Suck Wizard and like writing them down, like one of their managers has to look at that and be like, guys, like you literally changed every single skill and nerfed every single skill. Like what were you thinking when you released this? Like it has to be like fucked for sure. Like if you're nerfing every single skill by a bit. So yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So that's just I don't know. People think differently about certain classes, but I fight against a lot of Suck Kunos and a lot of Suck Wizards. And in my opinion, I think Suck Wizard requires so much less effort to kill an opponent than than any other class in the game. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Like when you actually oh my god. I had this experiment with my other Suck Wizard friend, and I told him, if you close your eyes, can you still kill your opponent? Like if you just close your eyes and cast like your rotation of skills without aiming. Okay, think about it. You are not aiming. You're not aiming at your opponent. You're just like they were in the small.
Like,
yeah, they were in the.
Yeah,
they were in the small arena, the King of the Hill arena, like the BA 1 or 2. And I told him, I was like, close your eyes and actually just like duel, like go through like one fight without looking at the screen. And he literally won 2 rounds without opening his eyes. And I was just like, what? He's just casting fucking skills, and he just killed the guy with SE trading. He didn't land a single CC because he missed everything, but he just fucking casted skills, and he eventually just killed him through SE damage, SE trading. And I was just like, this is so stupid. Like, you require like such little effort to kill your opponent or land anything on your opponent. And if you don't land anything on your opponent, you just nuke them through their super armor.
Yeah, the weird thing is,
Yeah.
so let's say Succession Wizard wouldn't be so overtuned, and there will be like a few players who will make it look overpowered, like by them being like amazingly good at the game.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like the class kind of plays itself. So like I'm looking at it and I can't tell like a difference between a horrible like grade C like shit tier wizard with like a very good insane.
Yeah,
like,
see that? Oh my god! I had this other
experience.
conversation with General Moores. He's a really good archer in NA, and we were talking about like the best wizards in NA when they were awakening, right? They were talking about Wuxi, they were talking about Ogmer, right? And they were talking about like Roots, like some of the best wizards ever in awakening. And then we were talking about like Succession wizards, who are the best Succession wizards, and obviously it's the same, like couple wizards. And then we brought up like other people, and they were like, I mean, these guys are all like really equally skilled, And the other guys, they were terrible at awakening, like they were just not good at awakening. But Succession has improved like their strength so much that like they don't give a shit about awakening. The awakening is no longer relevant now because you have Succession. Like it is now an option to just play Succession.
I'm wondering, would we keep Succession Wizard as it is if only like a very few % of people would be able to play it? Because I might have like a change that will help with that. Remove the stupid like press LMB and cast 7 skills one after another.
I think
like
if they increase
like
the skill cap for Succession Wizard, it would be a lot harder for them to improve.
Yeah, like look,
they should
if there would
that.
be like instead of
cool.
like 30,000 people playing Succession Wizard instantly becoming like S+ tier at the game.
Yeah.
Instead of having that and having like, okay, these people put in a lot of effort. The class is difficult to play. You have to think about what you're doing. You can just press like spacebar and left click and everything works out. So if you just have this, like I can kind of accept like, hey, look, this class is strong, but it requires a lot of skill preparation. Like you need to think about what you're doing. But it feels like everyone is just like double TP and Frigid Fog, the other fucking skill,
Pulse,
hold TP again, hold LMB, wait for your TP cooldown, TP and Frigid Fog.
It's so it's so simple to play Succession Wizard. If you just learn the basic fundamentals of Succession Wizard, you can do so well on it. And that's what I mean. There's the skill cap required to play Suck Wizard, as opposed to playing like an Awakening Ninja or Awakening Sork or Awakening Tamer or something. It's so drastically different.
Well, those classes don't work if you don't have knowledge of other classes on the other, like on first hand. Exactly. But if you have knowledge of other classes on Succession Wizard, like what do you even do with that? You're still like double TPing and casting voltage.
Yeah, it's not like you're. It's not like you're really outplaying. You're not really outplaying, your opponent. You're just. You're brute forcing them trying to counterplay you, right? And if they mess up, they're like instantly dead.
So I had this feeling when Succession Ninja was kind of strong, and when Ninja had PSB float after the CC patch like a few years ago. I had this feeling of like, okay, I get bombarded by people telling me I'm playing a overpowered class, which is kind of sad since I'm playing the same class from the start.
Mhm.
But anyway, I wonder, I want this class to be like a bit nerfed, so like the people would respect like the players playing. I wonder
Yeah,
how is
I,
it to be like a good wizard who's playing Succession Wizard and everyone is shitting on them
yeah, they're
because
just
they're playing
like
a
exactly
like
right because
brain dead class.
there's no skill ceiling. I
Yeah.
feel right because your the amount of effort and skill it takes to be really good at your class is so much less that on Succession Wizard because like I feel like a lot of players, even if you're not incredibly skilled at the game, you could pick up Succession Wizard and be like already a very solid player. Right, if you just
Yeah.
understand like the basic fundamentals of that class, you can't do that on Awakening Ninja. You can't do that on Sork. You can't do that on Tamer. Can't do that on Zerker or Warrior. You know the classes that require a lot of skill and practice that go into playing the class. You can't do it on
So
those classes.
they require mechanical skill, but like I said, also knowledge of other classes.
Yeah,
Like on Succession Wizard, like dude, like who cares like what class you're playing? You're literally
yeah.
being in double pretty.
Suck Wizard don't give a shit about what class you're playing.
Yeah.
All they see is an HP bar above your head. That is the only thing that is the same between every single person that a Suck Wizard sees. All they see is this. All they see
I
is
feel
that.
like their only bad matchups are those like those classes that have like protected grabs, and even then, like it's not that easy for those
Yeah,
classes because
like Warrior. That's about
Warrior
it. Warrior.
or
They actually,
Mystic.
oh my god, they actually slaughter Zerker players. Like a really good Zerker player.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Succession Wizard actually
Oh.
slaughters Zerkers. It's actually so hard for Zerker because they just slow debuff the Zerker, so all of their animations,
Okay.
all of their animations when they go for grabs is way slower. So it makes it so much easier for the wizard to just get away.
Mhm. I'm guessing if they don't hit the slow, I mean, it's impossible to not hit it. It has like 1
Oh
million
yeah,
like,
they have
meters AoE.
they have like so much. They have so many different slows though.
Yeah, true.
Right?
It's not just
Yeah, it's
little,
not just
like,
one skill.
electric thing they
Yeah,
do at the start.
the little chain lightning skill or their Frigid Fog
Yeah.
slows, their Blizzard slows. Like they have so many different options.
Okay,
of slow.
yeah, I can see it. If the Zerker gets hit by a slow, they're completely fucked.
Mhm.
On the other hand, if the wizard somehow like falls asleep at the BC and doesn't use one of their slows, I'm sure the Zerker would have like the advantage there. Probably. I don't know.
Hey, what's good, random god? Like fighting. I am a Zerk player versus Suck Wizard at high level. 50 is 50. Or 50-50, sorry. Or 40-60.
I can see 50-50. Like I said, it feels like if they miss the slow.
I actually
The
see like a
Zerker
lot
is-
of the Suck Wizards that was in my guild before, like Ogmer. They like it's so hard for them to do well against, or so hard for Zerkers to do well against them because it's so easy for them to land slow debuffs.
Wait. Wait. So, but the difference is, it feels like this guy who's in the chat is like he's like more of like an exceptional player. So he's like, hey, like I'm
Super
like a
high level
really good,
Zerker player.
super high level player, so I can like compensate. It
Yeah.
feels like we're mostly talking about like the usual like brain dead Succession
I'm
wizard
talking
against
about
average Zerker.
yeah. So obviously like end game top tier players that
Mhm.
you can't assume that because not every player can play, you know, at the top 5 percentile of skill. Because how many of you guys are in chat think that you're a top 5 player? Don't even answer that because not all of you guys are top 5 players. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys like, oh, everybody's a top 5 player. Shut up. Okay, you guys aren't all top 5 players. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying this is the honest truth. Not everybody is a top 5 player, and you can't base your PvP and the average PvP around the best players in the game. You can't do that because it's not realistic, right? And now, whereas like top 5 players' opinions are very important, it doesn't constitute for the entire meta of all PvP. I'm talking about average PvP, overall RBF, large scale. Like generally speaking, Succession Wizards will generally do better against Zerkers. 95% of the time, a Succession Wizard will do really good against a Zerker because most of the time, Zerkers don't have good protection or good movement, right? Like the skill of the Zerker is so much more valuable than a Succession Wizard. Like an A rank skill player on a Zerker will struggle against like a B rank Suck Wizard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like you have to be an insanely skilled player to do really well against Suck Wizard. Because even if you're insanely good and you fight against somebody that's like maybe a C rank player, you'll get clapped. You'll just get clapped because you just are not good enough of a player. And unless you're in the top 5 percentile of players, you will not do well. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by like That's what I mean by like the average player can pick up a very strong, super broken class and do well on it. That's the idea that we're trying to talk about. Me and Toyo are talking about right now. That you can just pick up Suck Wizard and clap people, like just right into the ground, just right into the ground.
Oh god. It felt like for a second you transformed into a wizard and started clapping like people in Noldor. We should post like a gif of a wizard at 200% in like a group, and you like put that sound over it.
just clapping. Oh my god! I have to show you guys a gif of the clap emote. Where do you guys know the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin? this this is what it reminds me of. If you get clapped, Kevin Hart, when he's saying this, both y'all go and get clapped when I get back.
Oh
both
wait,
y'all.
I know this. Oh god.
This is what it reminds me of. This is a let's see. This is a shy. This is a shy saying, "I'm gonna reroll the Suck Wizard." That's what that's the scenario. Holy shit!
Isn't the guy on the left the guy that played in the Office, or how is that called?
Yeah, he's in The Office. Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's in The Office. Yeah. But yeah, I love that movie. But yeah, so moving on. We'll answer a couple more comments or questions. Let's see.
Yeah, true. When tagging will be released, like literally, if you're not like in a siege with a succession wizard, you're trolling. You're actually trolling.
Just tag a Suck Wizard, easy. As a Suck Wizard, I don't think it's broken. All right, timing you out real quick. Time out. I'm just kidding, bro. Don't worry about it. Just gonna block jump assassinate you when you're not looking.
Huzzah!
There's a lot of Sakuno saying that the class is not broken. Interesting. Are Sarks broken? I got ass kicked by that class, and I'm a Zerker. Yes. Well, I don't think they're broken. I think at one point they were overtuned, but I think today they're strong against players that are unfamiliar with the matchup. So there's certain things in this game that people have to understand. Okay, if you don't know how to fight against the class, you can't say that it's broken or way too strong, because you just don't know how to fight against it. And that, in my opinion, that is the perfect way to explain Sork. If you do know how to fight against Sork, it's actually a lot easier to deal with them on certain classes. Sork is one of those classes that you really need to know how to fight against them for you to do well. Like, I can say that same about every cell class, but generally speaking, against certain classes, you don't really need too much knowledge on how to fight against them in order for you to do well, right? Obviously, this comes down to like top level play, top tier play, yada yada yada. But I'm talking generally speaking against Sorks. You want to know against like how to punish some of their skills, or what skills unsafe. When are you unsafe? Is something that I think people tend to overlook when they're fighting against any player. Is I'm unsafe here. I'm just gonna keep face mashing and casting my skills. But you are unsafe, so you're gonna get punished, right? And they don't think about that. They just go, let me just keep casting all my skills, my autopilot. Let me just keep autopiloting skills, and I'm good. I'll be fine. That's not how it works. That's not how PvP works, okay? There's a time when you're safe, and there's a time when you're not, and you can't keep brute forcing and just face pushing yourself, okay? You're not a Suck Wizard, all right? So stop, okay? So
honestly, if you want to like go through the game like without knowing anything about any other class, you just need to play Suck Wizard. I don't feel like there's any class in the game that can like be on that level.
Yeah.
But if you're not playing Suck Wizard, and you actually need to know like what the other classes are doing, so you have to think when you use your skills. Definitely, Sork is one of these classes that a lot of people are mistakenly the fact that they don't understand how the skill works with, oh, this class is overtuned. But to be honest, how many times did you get hit by an unprotected CC when you had like smoke? Let's say if you're a ninja, if you had like smoke bomb of cooldown, that should never happen. Like you should always smoke bomb that unprotected skill and always win that engagement.
Yeah.
But like most ninjas who don't have experience in this matchup are like, I'm getting rolled. It's impossible to catch them. But like, dude, no.
To be fair, Sork is a very difficult class to fight against. And in my opinion, Sork is one of those classes where if you have skill on the class, that class
You can
looks,
you can overcome a lot.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. And if you don't have skill on the class, then like it isn't really considered broken, in my opinion, or like really strong.
I would say like below average if you
Yeah,
don't know
if
how
you
to
don't know how to
play
play Sork well, you will not look good on that class. Like it's just
I,
not that strong if you don't know
I'm
how to
more
play that class.
scared of an average Zerker than an average Zork because an average Zerker can sometimes like
Mash
what's that
grab?
skill? Yeah, it can do the what's that thing where they go really fast for like 10 seconds.
Lava piercer?
Yeah, they can literally like start to do a lava piercer, run straight to you, like grab you, and
Yeah.
you like thinking of something else, and then you die. So
Yeah.
like a Sork who doesn't know how to play can never CC you
Yeah,
if you know
yeah,
how
yeah.
to use your skills.
Yeah, Sorks are one of those classes. If you are skilled on the class, you will be amazing. But I think that's also the same with Awakening Ninja. Also, hi. Speaking of Awakening Ninjas, hi Zappian. Good fights yesterday. You spanked me yesterday, which was sick. Showed me I got a fuck ton to learn. Good fights, man. Good fights. Toyo and Yellow, would you go pen Dragon Slayer on Suck Ninja instead of pen Dandy? I mean, I already have pen Dandy, but I don't think I'd
No,
ever go for pen.
I have something better than the Pendandy. I have a Tridandy C19.
Oh yeah,
In
yeah.
yellow, the only reason you don't have one is because you don't want to get rid of your Pendandy. Let's be honest.
Well, it's also because I might play Awakening, and I need the pen dandy for Awakening as
No,
well.
I know, but even if Awakening would get deleted
Oh yeah,
from the game,
I would still never get rid of my pen dandy.
yeah.
I worked too fucking hard for pen dandy to change it to pen C9 or try C19.
Mhm.
So all right, yeah, I made a trial Sork just to know about their skills, but I still get ass clap. I tell you that. I just decide to avoid them instead. Okay, so I'll give you guys a tip before moving on to our next topic because we went on kind of a big tangent and we kind of should probably finish the podcast soon before Garmoth. But something to learn when you fight against anybody or unsure or you struggle against any kind of matchup. The first thing you should do is this is what I do. All right. So let's say example if you struggle against Sorks. So I suck against Sork players or shit against Sorks. I don't know what to do. They're so confusing. I don't know what to do. This is what you do. You go to this thing called BDO Codex, and it's a skill calculator. Okay, and you click on Sorceress, and you start looking at their skills. Okay, obviously you're fighting against the Sork player. You ask them, hey man, what was that skill that you hit me with? Right, and you say, let's say they say a skill like Dream of Doom or something. So I hit you with Dream of Doom. So you go search up Dream of Doom, and it says Absolute Dream of Doom. It's a knockdown, but it needs to be charge in order to do the knockdown. And if you fast cast it, I believe it's a stiff if you instant cast it.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's unprotected, so you can punish this, right? If you see the Sork trying to like standing there charging it, and that's how you learn to improve your knowledge against fighting against any class, right? This can be repeated for any skill in the game, any opponent, any class. It doesn't matter what it is, right? People play classes, and classes have skills, and you learn how to deal with these skills. And that's how you learn. That's how I learned when I first fought against like any opponent. Outside of like, I didn't have a yellow guide, okay? I didn't have a yellow Twitch streamer or like top tier ninja streamers for me to ask questions all the time to learn. And even then, when I tried to learn from Danum or Mazep, they didn't really answer too many questions all the time for like every single question that I had. So I had to learn a lot on my own. And a lot of that was reading skills. Just looking at the skills, is this skill protected? Right? If it's a protected skill, how do I deal with it? I obviously like don't want to get hit by a skill that's protected, right? So that's like how I learn. And in my opinion, I think everybody should go into this process. If you want to get better at PvP, dueling in battle arena and doing RBF all day, right, isn't always effective if you don't learn anything from it. If you just go into battle arena and just duel people and you just get your ass beat all day, sure, you're losing, but are you learning anything from it? Do you learn from this fight? Are you fighting against this one top tier ninja? Is he teaching you anything? Are you learning anything from him? Are you trying to imitate his playstyle? Or, you know, are you fighting against this Sork? What are you getting hit by? Are you fighting against this Tamer? How are you missing all your skills against this Tamer? Like, what are you doing to teach yourself to become a better player? Right? And one of the ways is read skills. How does the skill work? Etc. Etc. Okay, so that's like, in my opinion, the best way to learn any kind of game because it'll teach you knowledge of everything. Okay?
Yeah. For sure, like it's really important to practice in an efficient manner, because if you think about it, if you practice for hours and hours on end and you're practicing like bad habits, you're gonna have to practice more to remove those bad habits sometime down the line. If you learn like how to play against Sork in a
Mission
bad
complete.
way, you're gonna like have to go through the pain of like unlearning something. Like, okay, let's not do silent charge into murderous in this position when the Sork has like his iframe up and stamina or whatever, or like not engage with murderous into him because that's suicide. And you're gonna have to like think every time after you duel like a sword for like 100 hours. You're gonna have to think to yourself, okay, I need to stop doing this. I'm getting killed every time. It's like 10 times more difficult than just learning it correctly from the get-go. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I died here, what's wrong? I suggest like a thing I use is I record most of my duels. Or I mean, I used to do it when I needed to learn like a few matchups. Now I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty okay, but yeah, I need to start learning some again, especially against Hashashin, for example. So I just record my duels, and when I want to look up on something and try to understand something, I just go to that duel, like look through it a bit and say like, okay, wait, I can't do this here because like I'm gonna get like screwed every single time. I need to play this carefully. I need to wait for this cooldown. I can't just like play aggressively when, for example, Succession Kuno. I can't play aggressively if they have Smoke Bomb, Tendon Cutter, and Shift E off cooldown.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna die every single time.
Yeah.
So there's like some thinking and like timing you need to do. But yeah, when you get the hang of that,
you'll improve drastically.
You're gonna improve a lot. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do one more question, and then we're gonna go to the Autolita topic, and then we'll call it for the podcast. All right. So the next question is by Greasy Busiek. Can you tell me your opinions on Hash 1v1? Okay, so I fought two of my guildies. They're insanely good at Hash. They both played Awakening against me. If you guys ever see them in game, you should try to duel them sometime. They're really, really good Hash players. Where is he? Night Strike is one of them. He plays at Awakening Hash, but he plays Succession for large scale. I don't even know where the hell he is. Oh, here he is. Night's back right here. The other one is Toyohisa. Where is Koyo? He's right here, Koyoza. So in my opinion, I think as people improve their skill in Hash, Awakening Hash will actually become like a top 5, top 6 type of PvPer. The reason why I say this is because if you guys have fought against Awakening Lons, you understand their playstyle, right? What they do is they super armor cycle, they iframe cycle, they dash, 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 and they just sit in protection, and then when you're really close, they sidestep grab. Right? It's very effective, very efficient, and it's cheap, but it's very effective, right? And Awakening Hasashin is exactly like Awakening Lon, except they're faster, they can engage, they can disengage faster, and they can actually pressure you. They also have really high damage output too, so they can actually SA trade. Okay, so they are basically an Awakening Lon, but in my opinion, a much better version of Awakening Lon.
Yeah, if Awakening Lan is like considered like kind of slippery because they have like those iframes and they like slip through your skills.
Yeah.
Awaken Hashashin is kind of like you don't really see this guy because he's like between those tornadoes or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to be like to target the tornado and to have like the reticle change into red or whatever against him. It's like a bit more like not so like straightforward.
Yeah.
Right. As Awakening Lan.
Yep. And Hasashin, Succession Hasashin, in my opinion, is really good, but they struggle against certain matchups if you can't break your opponent's block. Like if you don't have enough gear to break your opponent's block or nuke them through super armor, Succession Hasashi is not as good in 1v1, but they're very strong in large scale. That's for my initial kind of opinion on the Hasashin and Awakening and Succession. In my opinion, I've only fought like my two guildies in Awakening, and they're both insanely good. Like I may have won more matches. However, I felt as though in the some games I actually lost track of one of my guildies. I was actually like, where the fuck is this guy? I actually had to stop, like linger my super armor and actually scout and scan the area to see like where he was. So that actually happened a couple times. It could be because I was really not really knowledgeable on Awakening Hasashin, but at the same time, it's like this class has the potential to do something like that, which means when they're hone their skill, I think Awakening Hasashin will be even stronger in the future as people like
Yeah.
learn how to play it even better and optimize their movement, their cycling, their engages, and stuff like that. Skirmish is recruiting. Yes, we are recruiting for Tier 2 Node Wars. So if you guys want to come do Node Wars and fun with us, there's a PvP trial. It's not as strict as it used to be. I've toned down a lot because just getting more people to join the guild. But obviously, I still
Boomer
want to have
guild.
like pretty good players. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, Zappin. And yeah, we're just recruiting more players as well. And what was I gonna say about the other thing? The gear requirement right now it's 270. Actually, I'll just write it up. I'll do the guild command for it. Guild. That's the guild command for it. Okay, guys. All right. So moving on. Yellow, have you never gone to fight Blackface? No, I haven't. He's from Korea. How do I fight somebody in Korea? It's like so laggy. The last time I fought somebody in Korea.
Dude, I love those guys. There are people who are also asking me like, "Have you ever fought Yellow?" And like, yeah, for like 5 minutes.
The funny thing is,
Global,
Toyo, we did fight, but it was so fucking laggy. We
yeah,
fought like several times, but it's
for
so
like 5
laggy.
minutes on global level, like
Yeah,
for
it's
10 minutes.
so
Mission
laggy, bro.
complete.
So like it's cancer.
It's very hard to fight. I did fight the Korean ninja, but that's not a real fight. It was just like a fun fight, entertaining fight. I can't really call that
That
like
was just
it,
for fun.
it was just for fun, man. Like it's not. I wasn't doing that to show that North America is better than Korea, because I'm pretty sure there's probably ninjas in Korea that would absolutely slaughter me. Like I have no doubt in my mind. There's probably some Korean ninja that is like some god tier ninja that would show me new things I've never seen before in Suck Ninja or Awakening Ninja, and I'll just be like, oh fuck, that's so cool. I can't wait to learn. But anyways, yes, we're recruiting, so just check out the guild chat that I've written down. Toyo, okay, we'll do one more question. Toyo, have you fought Pablito, the Sovereign Ninja?
Yeah, many times. He's
Okay.
really good. I really like his videos as well. He does like montages
I
and
know,
little
I've seen his videos,
tutorials
yeah.
about need videos. Yeah, so I'm really really happy how he evolved because he's been doing videos for like a few months now, and he started off like not that good, but he definitely got a lot better, and he's working really hard on like
Yeah.
producing content every time.
Oh yeah, I've seen all of his
He-
videos. It's hella good content.
Yeah, he's really good, and he has like I really love like how he's teaching things and
Class
like
matchups.
his,
Yep.
yeah,
Class
that's
matchups.
a great thing.
How to fight against Sork or how to
We
fight
need-
against Suck Wizards, stuff like that is really
Yeah,
good.
we need to spam him to do that more. But,
Yeah. I'm a warrior, and the PvP sounds really fun. What days do you guys node war? As we're pushing to tier 2, we're not sure if we're gonna stay on T1s because T1s PA has fucked up T1s so hard. They mess up like the gear caps and stuff like that. They should have kept it as 270, 320 without the DR brackets or DP brackets. I think that would have been perfect for T1 hards. But they changed it too much that it's just not enjoyable as much as it used to be. So we're probably gonna try out tier 2s. The Node days are kind of we're gonna change it because we kind of want to see what days are most popular for us. So we'll probably make a list of or make a vote for the guild to see what people want to do. Anyways, all right, let's moving on to Autolita. So Autolita's coming out. Two of the biggest things that are coming out are going to be the accuracy belt that's coming out and the new Garmoth upgrade for the Dandelion and Dragon Slayer. So what are your thoughts on the new accuracy belt and the Garmoth upgrade?
So the accuracy build basically going to become like a best in slot for most classes that lack some accuracy, because like the distortion, that's the thing. Like it kind of comes down to like, so if you have like a Tet Tangrat belt or like a pen like a Bassi belt, I would honestly wait. If you still need accuracy, I would honestly wait for the rings or something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like trade that one item. Even like a Tet Tangrat belt, like dude, like Tet Tangrat belt is like 16 billion on Europe. Like I wouldn't want like get rid of this item just to get like a 20 billion item that's you lose like 3 AP or whatever. And yeah, so I would still look for like I'll still wait a bit for like the rings.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what do you think about the belt?
I think I'm gonna enjoy using the belt because I need accuracy. So
So
I'm
you're
definitely
you're
gonna.
gonna swap
Oh
instantly.
yeah, I'm gonna swap instantly. Well,
Do you
when I get it, at least I'll swap
do
it.
you still have that? I don't know if you did this. Did you do the Mysteries of Summer to get that coupon thing? The Do you know
Coupon?
what I'm talking about?
Coupon?
There's like this. You got like a discount coupon. Like if you sell like an item at the marketplace, you don't get taxed as much if you use this one thing.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's so
did you ever do
cool.
that?
No, I never got that.
Oh, I'm not sure if you can still get it,
That's crazy.
but yeah,
The fuck?
if you had that and you would have sold your like Tangrad belt, it would have been like really worth it for you to have
Hmm.
gained like a few billion just for like not losing it to taxes.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
I mean, honestly, if I would be in your position, I would I would still keep the belt, dude. I don't know, fucking 16 billion.
Well, yeah, I lose
I
like 2-3 bill
Yeah,
from tax.
I would still keep it for the PVE. Like I'm not sure.
Oh no, no,
What do you think about
I'm probably gonna sell my belt. I think,
it?
just to get the 2-row belt because Kudum after 281, right?
Hmm.
There's not like any bracket in the 281 bracket with Black Star. It doesn't really do much for me.
Oh,
It's all the
okay.
same damage anyways. And the only thing that I'll notice is when I hit Pen Black Star, which I'll eventually go for. I have a stack now. I have a 200 stack for Pen Black Star. I just need Cron Stones. But I'm not going to go for Pen Black Star yet. I need to get the Accuracy Belt, and I already have the
Hmm.
Garmoth's Heart, so I'm just waiting it for the patch to release, and I'll put
Dude,
this in my dandy.
you need to finish your C9 stuff for sure.
Oh
If you
man, it's
want
so
to
hard to get fucking Kaffers right now,
Kafras,
dude.
oof.
Jesus, fully sold out.
Like
Yeah.
how many are you getting in your like gathering sessions?
Oh, I don't gather timber. I still gather meats. I should be gathering timber
Mm.
if I want to get like I think it's like 30 to 40 Kaffers, I think, during a session.
Yeah, so
You don't
someone on
really,
Europe
yeah, you don't really get that much.
said like by gathering saps you get like 50 kafras, but like I'm not sure how like valid that is since
Okay,
some people are
so
saying that's really hard.
Balrog
Hmm.
Han, you know who that is?
Yeah, yeah.
That guy has like 2,000 mastery, right? He clears
Hmm.
75 Kaffras in a
Per hour,
session.
yeah, that's
Yeah, in
crazy.
his session, right? But like that's
Yeah, that's
75
insane.
Kaffras is like it's a lot for because like it's like relative to how much we can get, but that's not even
Hmm.
a lot of Kaffras. Like you know how many
Yeah,
Kaffras you need to get
you
like
still need
C9? You
like
need
100 hours or
yeah, you
something
need
like
so many. You
that.
need so many to get that many Kaffras to get like all your armored up and shit. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
but yeah, that's the accuracy belt. I think I'm most likely gonna swap to it. I think I'll probably stick with accuracy belt for a long time. And
How are you feeling about the Dante crystals? Like, what do you want to go for?
I honestly, when I saw the human damage gems for Garmoth, or
Hmm.
sorry for Dandy, I was like, this is useless. It's such a little impact. It doesn't do that much.
Hmm.
I was like, I think everybody is gonna be using some kind of Han gem. It's either gonna be Han Macalots or Han
Homes or
Hooms.
Makalots, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be one of those two options. What I see it from a lot of some players that were talking to me about Endgame and EU, they would put Hooms and their dandy, and then they would run RBF adamantine gems. So
Yeah, some people are saying that. I heard that as
adamant,
well.
they would run like the RBF gems, the adamantine ones. Like I think
Mhm.
this is good, but that's only if you like. This is overall if you fight against a lot of classes that are KD based,
Mhm.
right? And that's good for like large scale. But honestly, I think Hooms will probably be better for like the 4 Hoom setup. But
Mhm.
honestly, that's kind of my guess.
Yeah, it also opens up to the the Harpina in Helm,
Yep,
right?
I already have Harpies in my helmet though, so
So you run like just two homes, I
I run
guess.
2 Hooms right now. Yeah, so the
Mhm.
Hooms that I'm getting for my Dandy will be for the mainly for the accuracy. 12 accuracy is obviously for the tankiness too, but the accuracy is very important for me. And then obviously
Yeah,
the accuracy belt, I'll get a lot more as
I
well.
I already have like 4 homes. I don't run Harpinas in Helm, but I'm thinking since I'm also like a bit of a like accuracy, like I need a lot of accuracy since I'm like a
Hmm.
full AP monkey.
Yeah, you're gonna
Like
be really tanky
I'm
with
an
the
NA
Jin
boy these
Harpies.
days. Yeah, but
Yeah.
actually, I was thinking of if the new Dante crystals are available, I was thinking of getting those since that's like 6 accuracy and like 10 AP, right?
I don't
Am
know.
I wrong?
I don't know. I thought it was human damage, not accuracy. I
Well,
thought it was like
it's 3 accuracy and 5 human damage for one crystal, I think.
it gives accuracy. I didn't know it
Yeah,
gave accuracy.
3
Oh,
accuracy and
I
5
thought it
human
was like
damage.
I thought it was all AP and then the other is like human
Wait,
damage.
am I crazy? Let me like double check this,
I
but
don't know if it has
I'm
accuracy.
100% sure.
If you can see, just send it to me. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I thought it was like I thought it was like 5 AP and like 3 human damage or something. It's 3 accuracy, 5
Okay,
human
3
damage.
3 accuracy, 5 PvE AP, or 3 human damage. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So you can pick between
But
5 PvE
that's only
AP or 3
6
human damage.
accuracy. That's fucking terrible. That's so low.
Dude, I don't know what to say. Like I
That's so little.
like got 4 accuracy on my Nouvelle for like the first level of Kafras, and I'm like so happy about that 4 accuracy. I don't know.
That's nothing. That's
Dude,
like
I
that's
have
not even
12
anything.
Dude, I don't know. It feels like if you add it up all up, the 4 accuracy from the Nouvelle, the 12 from the Tridandy, and the
Uh,
6 from like the
I,
stupid crystals.
I feel like it's such a
It's
minuscule upgrade that you won't notice for accuracy in the grand scheme of all of your
okay.
accuracy
We'll see.
combined.
I'll play with 301 AP and like this
Okay.
shitty like 1 accuracy here, 1 accuracy there, and you can play like 97 AP with like 20 accuracy from your 30 billion belt, and we see who does the trick.
I think the funny thing is we're gonna do the same exact damage. There's gonna be like zero difference. We're gonna do like the same
I
damage.
think so, yeah.
I don't think
I
there's
feel
gonna be
like
that much
your
difference.
build costs more though. It's certainly a lot more
Oh
like
yeah. Well, no, I'm
cost a lot
selling
more.
my 10 grad belt, right? So I'm not really losing money, right? Like if I
Yeah,
can get it within the
dude,
belt, but I'm tapping it. So.
I'm just gonna say this one thing.
Hmm.
As soon as it comes out, put the pre-order as fast as you can. And
Oh yeah,
hope,
because the price is
pray,
gonna raise. Yeah.
yeah, pray to God that you're gonna get one of the first ones, the first 10 belts or whatever.
Well, I don't think anyone's gonna sell Tet belt at the beginning. That's kind of
Well, nah,
ridiculous.
but like in like 3 weeks, 1 month or whatever. Like maybe less than 3 weeks, like 2 weeks. I'm sure people will sell it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was
Mhm.
basically Autolita. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Because we still have like 10 minutes left for
Uh, no, that was. I
yeah, I think we
think
had
I'll
a
go
pretty
get ready for bed as well.
yeah, we have a
Need
pretty
to
good
work
chunk
tomorrow.
of yeah.
But that was pretty fun. I'm happy we both got a bit of time today, and
Yeah,
we did it. We like actually.
we did a
I like these.
podcast, dude.
Yeah, I like these things because I actually get to chat with you and see like
Hmm.
how like some of your ideas
Hmm.
are like in NA, and maybe you get to find out some like what stuff is happening in EU or whatever.
Hmm.
And it feels kind of cool to like talk about like how we feel like the game is going and stuff like that because
Yeah.
I feel like we have like a lot of good ideas
Hmm.
about the game, but we do it because we're like actual like we play this game 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like some of the GMs, not GMs, but like the developers of the game, they
Yeah.
obviously do not play as much as we do. Like it's literally impossible. I'm sure they don't. They have like kids and stuff, and they don't go at home and they grind in video for 6 hours, and they go in RBF and they do Nodor and they do sieges and stuff like that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure they skip sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, it's kind of cool to like
Hmm.
in my opinion, hear some of the opinions of like people who maybe experience like maybe a higher level of play, maybe
Yeah.
experience how some of the classes feel like.
Hmm.
Yeah. So but it was really fun to chat with you, like
Yeah. Of
always,
course,
you
man.
know.
Of course. Definitely always something that I can learn, and I'm pretty sure the chat can easily say that they're always trying to learn something, and definitely
Hmm.
always having a second opinion on like different things and different topics in the game. It's always nice to have for sure.
I think we should shout out we still have 200 viewers. Didn't Nayashi and the boys from the Valley Pack
Yes.
like
Yes. Nayashi and Frosty have
they
both hosted me. Thank you guys
they
for the big
hosted
fat
me.
host.
It's really cool.
Definitely, I really
The
appreciate
best
you guys.
podcast in BTO, right?
Oh yeah,
Valley
most
Pack.
popular podcast in BDO.
Most popular podcast, yeah.
Let's go. Am I
Very cool,
uploading this
guys.
podcast to YouTube? Yes, I am. Definitely for YouTube, guys. Don't worry. But yeah, hope you guys, if you guys just tuning in, we just finished a podcast with Toyohisa, my EU guest, a top tier Succession ninja. If you guys haven't seen Toyohisa's chat, or sorry, his channel, if you don't know who he is, go check him out. Toyo, do you mind posting your YouTube chat or
Yeah,
YouTube channel on
I'll
my
post it
chat?
in
Awesome.
I'll post it in the channel. And if you guys are wondering when I'm gonna release my new video, I have all the clips, but I'm just waiting to get like the last two pieces of my gear, and then I'll start PvPing more, and then maybe like post more montages and stuff like that. Because I feel like when I get 301 AP and like 348 TP or whatever, I feel like I'll take a small break from grinding for a few months at least. And I am invest into either life skills or I don't know, just spend my time in RPF. Like
Create a Arena of Arsha PvP scene in EU. I want
dude,
to spectate. You don't know how badly I want to watch what
there
AoE
is
looks like in EU.
there is no way I will have time for that. There is literally no way. Not me. Like if I
It's
was a
so
college
hard.
student, I would do it. But like I'm way past that. I don't have time for that anymore. I would participate in them, but yeah, I certainly not the person to organize them or whatever. Alright, Yellow, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for
And
coming, man.
I
Spontaneous
like chatting
podcast.
with you all the time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Very much
So
appreciated.
I'll go get some rest now. Have
All
a
right,
good
man.
night.
Have a good
And
night.
good luck at Garmouth.
Yeah, man. Thank you, dude. Have a good night, dude.
All
Take
right.
it easy.
Have a good night. Yeah, you too, man. Take care. Bye.
Take care. All right, chat. That was a pretty fun podcast, if I say so myself.